doing the entrances and exits as, would you like that?
Yeah, if you could turn yourself off when you exit and turn yourself on when you enter. I actually have a question for all of you actors. Would you guys like me to read the beginning of your scene to say scene act 1, scene 1, act 2, scene 2?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because
Yes,
it gives
please.
you a chance to get your setup too.
Okay. Okay, then I will.
Let's the
All
audience.
right. Well, we are now live on YouTube, and welcome everyone to this Instant Shakespeare Company first ever reading for us of Thomas of Woodstock, or Richard II, Part 1. My name is Paul Shakespeare. I'm the founder of Instant Shakespeare, and this is part of our big history project, which Stephen Brown put together. And Drew Bolander is the playmaster for tonight's reading. So over to you, Drew. Thank you all so much for participating.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. So yeah, this is really exciting to hear this one out loud because I've never heard it out loud before. Before we start, why don't we go around and at least say the major character that you're reading? I know a lot of us have quite a few. And so I will say your name, and when I state your name, state your name and your character. All right. All right. So David Brown.
Hi, I'm playing Thomas of Woodstock, who is also known as the Duke of Gloucester.
And Angus.
Hi, Angus Hepburn, coming in from London, reading the Duke of York.
And Mick.
Hey there, I am reading King Richard II.
And Nick.
Hello, I am reading Tressilian and others.
And Michael.
I'm Michael E. Gardner, and I'm reading Green and Fleming and the Second Murder.
And Christina.
Hi, I am reading the Duchess of Ireland, Scroop and others.
Oh, Scroop, it's fun.
Deborah.
Hi, Deborah Whitfield. I'm reading Duchess of Gloucester and Crosby and the Ghost of King Edward III.
Oh, good for you.
Garrett.
Hi, I'm Garrett Quayle, and I'm reading Queen Anne, Cowtail, Cynthia, and La Poule.
And Kevin.
Hello, Kevin Rifle, and I am reading Nimble and Surrey and a Gentleman.
Jonathan.
Hey, I'm Jonathan Waterfield. I'm reading Bushy and also Master Ignorance, who's a lot more fun than Bushy.
And Bill.
And Bill, I'm playing Bagot, also known as Baggett.
Great. And Jay?
As I exit stage left.
Good evening. I'm Jay Aubrey Jones. I'll be playing John of Gaunt, aka Lancaster, the Schoolmaster, and Northumberland.
And David Cedar.
Hello, I'm David Cedar. I'm reading Sir Thomas, I believe it is. Shady.
Brilliant. And I am Drew Bolander, and I am reading Arundel and the Ghost of Edward, the Ghost of the Black Prince, and a servant and a courtier. So now, without further ado, we will begin our reading of Thomas of Woodstock. Act 1, Scene 1.
Bring torches there.
Lights! Bring torches! Torches!
Shut the gate! Let no man out until the house be searched.
Call for our coaches. That's away, good brother. Now, by the blessed saints, I fear we are poisoned all.
Poisoned, my lord?
Aye, aye, good Arundel. It is high time begone. May God heaven be blessed for this prevention.
God for thy mercy. Would our cousin king so cousin us to poison us in our meat?
Has no man here some helping antidote, for fear already we have taken some dram? What thinkst thou, Cheney? Thou first broughtst the tidings. Are we not poisoned, thinkest thou?
Fear not, my lords. This mischievous poison was as yet unserved. It was a liquid bane dissolved in wine, which after supper should have been caroused to young King Richard's health.
Oh, good if faith or his uncle's death become health to King Richard. How came it out? Sir Thomas Cheney, pray resolve us this doubt.
A Carmelite friar, my lord, revealed the plot and should have acted in it, but touched in conscience, he came to your good brother, the Lord Protector, and so disclosed it, who it straight sent me to you.
The Lord protect him for it. Aye, and our cousin king. I heaven be judged, we wish all good to him.
A heavy charge, good Woodstock, hast thou had to be protector to so wild a prince, so far degenerate from his noble father, whom the trembling French the Black Prince called, not a swart and melancholy brow, for sweet and lovely was his countenance, but that he made so many funeral days in mournful France. The warlike battles won in Crécy field, Poitiers, Artois, and men made all France groan under his conquering arm. But heaven forestalled his diadem on earth to place him with a royal crown in heaven. Rise may his dust to glory, ere he'd have done a deed so base unto his enemy, much less unto the brothers of his father. He'd first have lost his royal blood in drops, dissolved the strings of his humanity, and lost that livelihood that was preserved to make his unlike son a wanton king.
Forbear, good John of God. Believe me, brother, we may do wrong unto our cousin king. I fear his flattering minions more than him.
By the blessed Virgin, noble Edmund York, I'm past all patience. Poison his subjects, his royal uncles? Why, the proud Castilians, where John of Gaunt writes king and sovereign, would not throw off their vile and servile yoke by treachery so base. Patience, gracious heaven.
Oh, a good invoke, right princely Lancaster. Calm thy high spleen. Sir Thomas Cheney here can tell the circumstance. Pray give him leave.
Well, let him speak.
'Tis certainly made known, my reverend lords, to your loved brother and the good Protector, that not King Richard, but his flatterers, Sir Henry Green, joined with Sir Edward Bagot, and that sly Machiavel Treselyan, whom now the king elects for Lord Chief Justice, had all great hands in this conspiracy.
By blessed Mary, I will confound them all.
Your spleen confounds yourself.
By kingly Edward's soul, my royal father, I will be revenged at full on all their lives.
Nay, if your rage break to such high extremes, you will prevent yourself and lose revenge.
Why, Edmund, canst thou not give a reason yet, though we so near in blood, his hapless uncles, his grandsire, Edward's sons, his father's brothers, should thus be made away? Why might it be that Arundel and Surly here should die?
Some friend of theirs wanted my earldom sore.
Perhaps my office of the Admiralty. If a better and a fortunate hand could govern it, I would, 'twere none of mine. Yet thus much can I say, and make my praise no more than my merit. A wealthier prize did never take harbor in our roads than I to England brought. You all can tell full 80 sail of tall and lusty ships, and 6 great carracks fraught with oil and wines I brought to King Richard in abundance home. So much that plenty hath so staled our palates, as that a ton of high-prized wines of France is hardly worth a mark of English money. If service such as this done to my country merit my heart to bleed, let it bleed freely.
We'll bleed together, warlike Arundel, cousin of Surrey. Princely Edward York, let us think on some revenge. If we must die, 10,000 souls shall keep us company.
Patience, good Lancaster. Tell me, kind Cheney, how does thy master, our good brother Woodstock, plain Thomas, for by the rood so all men call him for his plain dealing and his simple clothing, let others jet in silk and gold, says he, a coat of English frieze best pleaseth me. How thinks these unsophisticated plainness of these bitter compounds? Fears he no drug put in his broth? Shall his health be secure?
Faith, my lord, his mind suits with his habit, homely and plain, both free from pride and envy, and therein will admit distrust to none. And see that his grace himself is come to greet you. By your leave there, room for my lord protector's grace.
Health
to your grace.
I salute your healths, good brothers. Pray, pardon me, I will speak with you anon. Hie thee, good Exton, good Lord Mayor. I do beseech you, prosecute with your best care a means for all our safeties. Mischief hath often double practices. Treachery wants not his second stratagem. Who knows but steel may hit, though poison fail? Alack the day, the night is made a veil to shadow mischief. Set, I beseech, strong guard and careful to attend the city. Our Lady help. We know not who are friends, our foes are grown so mighty. Pray be careful.
Your friends are great in London. Good my lord, I'll front all dangers. Trust it on my word.
Thanks from my heart, I swear. For my God, I know not which way to bestow myself. The time's so busy and so dangerous too. Why, how now, brothers? How fares good John of Gaunt? Thou art vexed, I know. Thou grievest, kind Edmund York, Arundel and Surrey, noble kinsmen. I know ye all are discontented much, but be not so. Afore my God, I swear King Richard loves you, and credit me, the princely gentleman is innocent of this black deed and base conspiracy. Speak, how is it with princely Lancaster?
Oh, sick, Gloucester, sick. We are all weary and fain would we would lie down to rest ourselves, but that so many serpents lurk in the grass, we dare not sleep.
Enough. Good brother, I have found out the disease. When the head aches, the body is not healthful. King Richard's wounded with a wanton humor, lulled by and secured by flattering sycophant. But 'tis not deadly yet, it may be cured. Some vein let blood where the corruption lies, and all shall heal again.
Then lose no time, lest it grow ulcerous. False Tressilian, Green, and Bagot run naught but poison, brother. Spill them all.
They guide the nonage king, 'tis they protect him. Ye wear the title of protectorship, but like an under office, as though yours were derived from theirs. Faith, ye are too plain.
In my apparel, you'll say.
Good faith in all. The commons murdered against the dissolute king. Treason is whispered at each common table as customary as their thanks to heaven. Men need not gaze up to the sky to see whether the sun shine clear or no. 'Tis found by the small light should beautify the ground. Conceit you me, a blind man thus much sees. He wants his eyes to whom we bend our knees.
You all are princes of the royal blood, yet like great oaks you let the ivy grow to eat your hearts out with these false embraces. You understand, my lord?
Aye, good coz, as if ye plainly said, destroy those flatterers, and tell King Richard he does abase himself to countenance them. Soft, fruit that grows high is not securely plucked. We must use ladders, and by steps ascend till by degrees we reach the altitude. You conceit me too, pray, be smooth a while. Tomorrow is the solemn nuptial day betwixt the king and virtuous Anna Beam, the emperor's daughter, a right gracious lady that's come to England for King Richard's love. Then as you love his grace and hate his flatterers, discountenance not the day with the least frown. Be ignorant of what ye know. For my God, I have good hope this happy marriage, brothers, of this so noble and religious princess will mildly calm his headstrong youth to see and shun those stains that blurs his majesty. If not, by good King Edward's bones, our royal father, I will remove those hinderers of his health, and though it cost my head.
On these conditions, brother, we agree.
And I.
To hide our hate is soundest policy.
And brother Gloucester, since it is your pleasure to have us smooth our sullen brows with smiles, we'll have you suit your outside to your heart, and like a courtier cast this country habit, for which the coarse and vulgar call your grace by the title of plain Thomas. Yet we doubt not, tomorrow we shall have good hope to see your high protectorship and bravery.
No, good York. This is as fair a sight. My heart in this plain frieze sits true and right. In this I will serve my king, as true and bold as if my outside were all trapped in gold.
By Mary, but you shall not, brother Woodstock. What, the marriage day to Richard and his queen, and will ye so disgrace the state and realm? We'll have you braid, if faith.
Well, for your sakes, brothers, and this solemn day, for once I'll sumpter a gaudy wardrobe, but 'tis more than I have done, I vow, this 20 years. For my God, the king could not have entreated me to leave this habit, but your wills be done. Let's hie to court. You all your wishes have. One weary day, plain Thomas will be brave.
Act 1, Scene 2.
Nay, good Sir Henry, King Richard calls for you.
Prithee, sweet Green, visit his highness and forsake these passions.
Blood, I am vexed. Tressilian, mad me not. Thyself and I are all now undone. The lords of London are secured from harm. The plots revealed. Black curses seize the traitor.
Eternal torments whip that Carmelite.
A deeper hell than limbo patrum hold him, a fainting villain. Confusion crush his soul.
How could the false slave recoil and swore their deaths?
Mischief devour him. Had it but taken effect on Lancaster and Edmund, Duke of York, those headstrong uncles to the gentle king, the third brother, plain Thomas the Protector, had quickly been removed. But since thus, our safeties must be cared for, and 'tis best to keep us near the person of the king. Had they been dead, we'd rule the realm and him.
So shall we still so long as Richard lives. I know he cannot brook his stubborn uncles. Come, think not on't. Hear thee, Tressilian, here's better news for thee. We have so wrought with kingly Richard that by his consent you are already mounted on your footcloth. Scarlet or your purple, which you please. And shortly are to underprop the name, mark me Tressilian, of Lord Chief Justice of England.
Hum. Legit or not legit? Methinks already I sit upon the bench with dreadful frowns, frighting the lousy rascals. And when the jury once cries guilty, could pronounce, Lord have mercy on thee, with a brow as rough and stern as surly Radamanth. Or when a fellow talks, cry, take him, jailer, clap bolts of iron on his heels and hands. Chief Justice, my lords. Hum. I will wear the office in his true ornament.
But good, your honor, as 'twill shortly be, you must observe in fashion to the time the habit of your laws. The king is young, I, and a little wanton, so perhaps are we. Your laws must not be beetles, then, Tressilian, to punish your benefactors. Look to that.
How, sir? To punish you, the minions to the king, the jewels of his heart, his dearest loves? Swoons, I will screw and wind the stubborn law to any fashion that shall like you best. It shall be law. What I shall say is law, and what's most suitable to all your pleasures.
Thanks to your lordship, which is yet to come.
Farewell, Tressilian. Still be near the court. Anon King Richard shall confirm thy state. We must attend his grace to Westminster to the high nuptials of fair Anna Beam, that must be now his wife and England's queen.
So let them pass. Tressilian, now bethink thee. Lord Chief Justice. Methinks already I am swelled more plump than erst I was. Authority's a dish that feeds men fat, an excellent delicate. Yet best be wise, no state's secure without some enemies. The dukes will frown. Why, I can look as grim as John of Gaunt, and all that frown with him. But yet, until mine office be put on by kingly Richard, I'll conceal myself, framing such subtle laws that Janus-like may with a double face salute them both. I'll search my brain and turn the leaves of law. Wit makes us great. Greatness keeps fools in awe. My man there, ho, where's Nimble?
Nimble as an eel, sir. Did ye call, sir?
Sir, look out some better phrase. Salute again.
I know no other, sir, unless you will be Frenchified and let me lay the monsieur to your charge, or sweet signor.
Neither. 'Tis higher yet. Nimble, thou buckram scribe, think once again.
Neither, sir, nor monsieur, nor signor. What shall I call him, trow? He's monstrously translated suddenly. At first, when we were schoolfellows, then I called him Sir. But since he became my master, I pared away the and served him with the Sir. What title has he got now? I know not. I'll try further. Has your worship any employment for me?
Thou gross uncaput, thou speakst not yet.
My mouth was open, sure. If your honor would please to hear me.
Honor, sayest thou. Aye, now thou hitst it, Nimble.
I knew I should want wind about ye until I had your honor.
Nimble, bend thy knee. The Lord Chief Justice of England speaks to thee.
Lord be praised, we shall have a flourishing commonwealth, sir.
Peace, let me speak to thee.
Yes, anything. So your honor not pray for me. I care not for now you are the Lord Chief Justice. If ever ye cry, Lord have mercy upon me, I shall hang for support sure.
No, those fearful words shall not be pronounced against thee, Nimble.
Thank ye, my lord. Nay, and you'll stand between me and the gallows. I'll be an errant thief sure if I cannot pick up my crumbs by the law quickly. I'll cast away my buckram rags and be a highwayman lawyer now certainly.
Canst thou remember, Nimble, how by degrees I rose since first thou knewst me? I was first a schoolboy.
Aye, saving your honor's speech, your worshipful tale was whipped for stealing my dinner out of my satchel. You were ever so crafty in your childhood that I knew your worship would prove a good lawyer.
Interrupt me not. Those days thou knewest, I say, from whence I did become a plodding clerk, from which I bounced, as thou dost now in buckram, to be a pleading lawyer. And there I stayed, till by the king I was Chief Justice made. Nimble, I read this discipline to thee to stir thy mind up still to industry.
Your good lordship.
Go to thy mistress. Lady, you now must call her. Bid her remove her household up to London. Tell her our fortunes, and with how much peril we have attained this place of eminence. Go and remove her.
The habeas corpus or cesarius, I assure ye, I shall leave your lordship, always hoping of your wonted favor, that when I have passed the London Bridge of Affliction, I may arrive with you at the Westminster Hall of Promotion, and then I care not.
Thou shalt. Thou hast an executing look, and I will put the axe into thy hand. I rule the law, thou by the law shalt stand.
I thank your lordship, and a fig for the rope then.
Act 1, Scene 3.
Bagot and Green, next to the fair Queen Anne, take your high places by King Richard's side, and give fair welcome to our Queen and bride. Uncles of Woodstock, York, and Lancaster, make full our wishes, and salute our Queen. Give all your welcomes to fair Anne Abeam.
I hope, sweet prince, her grace mistakes us not to make our hearts the worser part of us. Our tongues have, in our English eloquence, harsh though it is, pronounced her welcomes many by oaths and loyal protestations, to which we add 1,000 infinities. But in a word, fair queen, forever welcome.
Let me prevent the rest, for mercy's sake. If all their welcomes be as long as thine, this health will not go round this week, by the mass. sweet queen and cousin. Now I'll call you so, in plain and honest phrase. Welcome to England. They think they speak all in me, and you have seen all England cry with joy, God bless the Queen. And so, afore my God, I know they wish it. Only I fear my duty was not misconstrued. Nay, King Richard, for God I'll speak the truth. Sweet Queen, you have found a young and wanton choice, a wild head, and yet a kingly gentleman, a youth unsettled, but he's princely bred. What erst seemed well by custom, princely bred, described from the royal bloods in Europe, the kingly stock of England and of France, yet he's a harebrain and a very wag of faith. But you must bear, madam. Alas, he's but a blossom, but his maturity I hope you'll find true English bred, a king loving and kind.
I thank ye for your double praise, good uncle.
Aye, good coz. I'm plain Thomas by the rood. Thou speak the truth.
My sovereign lord, and you true English peers, your all-accomplished honors have so tied my senses to, by a magical restraint, in the sweet spells of this your fair demeanors, that I am bound and charmed from what I was. My native country I no more remember, but as a tale told in my infancy, the greatest part forgot, and that which is appears to England's fair Elysium, like brambles to the cedars, coarse to fine, or like the wild grape to the fruitful vine. And having left the earth where I was bred, an English maid, let me be Englished. They best shall please me, shall me English call. My heart, great king, to you, my love to all.
Gramercy, man, thou highly honorest me.
I'm sorry.
And blessed is England in this sweet accord.
For my God, sweet Queen, our English lads and all the women that this isle contains and keeps shall sing in praise of this your memory and keep records of virtuous Anna Beam, whose discipline hath taught them womanhood. What erst seemed well by custom now looks rude. Our women till your coming, fairest cousin, did use like men to straddle when they ride, but you have taught them now to sit aside. Yet by your leave, young practice often reels. I have seen some of your scholars kick up both their heels.
What have you seen, my lord?
Nay, nothing, wife. I see little without spectacles, thou knowest.
Trust him not, aunt, for now he's grown so brave, he will be courting, aye, and kissing too, nay, uncle. Now I'll do as much for you, and lay your faults all open to the world.
I do.
I'm glad you are grown so careless. Now, by my crown, I swear, good uncles York and Lancaster, when you this morning came to visit me, I did not know him in this strange attire. How come this golden metamorphosis from homespun housewifery? Speak, good uncle. I never saw you hatched and gilded thus.
Oh, well, I am no stoic, my dear sovereign cousin, to make plainness seem canonical, but to allow myself such ornaments as might be fitting for your nuptial day and coronation of your virtuous queen. But were the eye of day once closed again, upon this back they never more should come.
You have much graced the day. But, noble uncle, I did observe what I have wondered at. As we rode today on to Westminster, methought your horse, that wont to tread the ground and pace as if he kicked it scornfully, mound and curve it like strong Bucephalus. Today he trod as slow and melancholy as if his legs had failed to bear his load.
And can ye blame the beast? For my God, he was not wont to bear such loads. Indeed, 100 oaks upon these shoulders hang to make me brave upon your wedding day. And more than that, to make my horse more tire, 10 acres of good land are stitched up here. You know, good cuz, this was not wont to be.
In your t'other hose, uncle?
Aye, mock on, my t'other hose, ye say ye. There's honest plain dealing in my t'other hose. Should this fashion last, I must raise new rents, undo my poor tenants, turn away my servants, and guard myself with lace. Nay, sell more land and lordships too by the rood. Hear me, King Richard, if thus I jet in pride, I still shall lose, but I'll build castles in my t'other hose. T'other hose did hear some here wear that fashion, they would not tax and pill the commons so.
But he forewarned us and will break out himself.
No matter, we'll back him, though it grows to blows.
Scoff ye my plainness. I will talk no riddles. Plain Thomas will speak plainly. There's Bagot there and Green.
And what of them, my lord?
Upstarts, come down. You have no places there. Here is better men to grace King Richard's chair. If it pleased him, grace them so.
Uncle, forbear.
These cut the columns that should prop thy house. They tax the poor, and I am scandaled for it, that by my fault those late oppressions rise to set the commons in a mutiny, that London even itself was sacked by them. And who did all these rank commotions point at? Even at these two, Bagot here and Green, with false Tresillian, whom your grace we here hath made chief justice. Well, be it so. Mischief on mischief sure will shortly flow. Pardon my speech, my lord. Since now we're all so brave to grace Queen Anne, this day we'll spend in sport. But in my t'other hose, I'll tickle them for it.
Come, ye dote, my lord.
Dote, sir. Know ye to whom ye speak?
No more, good uncles. Come, sweet Green, have done. I'll ring them all for this, by England's crown. Why is our Lord Protector so outrageous?
Because thy subjects have such outrage shown them by though these thy flatterers. Let the sun dry up what the unwholesome fog hath choked the ground with. Here's Arundel, thy ocean's admiral, hath brought thee home a rich and wealthy prize, taken 70 sail of ships and 6 great carracks, all richly laden. Let those goods be sold to satisfy those borrowed sums of coin their pride hath forced from the needy commons. To salve which inconvenience, I beseech your grace, you would vouchsafe to let me have the sale and distribution of those goods.
Our word, good uncle, is already past, which cannot with our honor be recalled. Those wealthy prizes already are bestowed on these, our friends.
On
them,
my lord?
Yes. Who storms at it?
Shall cankers eat the fruit that planting and good husbandry hath nourished?
Cankers?
Aye,
Cankers, caterpillars.
Worse than consuming fires that eat up all the furies fall upon.
Once more, be still. Who is that dares encounter with our will? We did bestow them. Hear me, kind uncles. We shall ere long be past protectorship, then will we rule ourselves. And even till then, we let ye know those gifts are given to them. We did it, Woodstock.
Ye have done ill then?
Ah! Dare ye say so?
Dare I? For my God, I'll speak. King Richard, were I assured this day my head should off, I tell ye, sir, my allegiance stands excused in justice of the cause. Ye have done ill. The sun of mercy never shine on me, but I speak truth. when warlike Arundel, beset at sea, fought for those wealthy prizes, he did with fame advance the English cross, still crying, courage in King Richard's name. For thee he won them, and do thou enjoy them, he'll fetch more honors home. But had he known that kites should have enjoyed the eagle's prize, the fraught had swum unto thine enemies.
So, sir, we'll soothe your vexed spleen, good uncle, and mend what is amiss. To those slight gifts not worth acceptance, thus much more we add. Young Henry Green shall be Lord Chancellor. Bagot, Lord Keeper of our Privy Seal. Tressilian, learned in our kingdom's law, shall be Chief Justice. By them and their directions, King Richard will uphold his government.
Change no more words, my lord. You do deject your kingly majesty to speak to such whose homespun judgments, like their frosty beards, would blast the blooming hopes of all your kingdom. Were I as you, my lord, I would not for one moment let Queen Anne interrupt me.
I believe we've lost the queen, but...
Sorry, I'm
Page 10. Page 10.
Okay.
Bottom of page
Wait,
10.
glasses back on. Sorry. Oh, page 10.
Very bottom.
Huh.
Oh, gentle green.
Were I as you, my lord.
Oh, gentle green, throw no more fuel, but rather seek to mitigate this heat. Be patient, Kingly Richard, quench this ire. Would I had tears of force to stint this fire.
Beshrew the churls that make my queen so sad. But by my grandsire Edward's kingly bones, my princely father's tomb, King Richard swears we'll make them weep these wrongs in bloody tears. Come, fair Queen Anna Beam, Bagot and Green, keep by King Richard's side. But as for you, we'll shortly make your stiff obedience bow.
Sounds gone, Bill. Green?
No, I didn't hear Bagot's line. Remember this, my lord?
We keep.
Oh, remember this, my lords. I'm sorry. I thought I was talking properly. We keep the seal. Remember this, our strength. We all shall know.
And we are Chancellor. We love you well. Think so.
God, for his mercy. Shall we brook these braves, disgraced and threatened us by fording knaves?
Shall we that were great Edward's princely sons be thus outbraved by flattering sycophants?
For my God and holy saints, I swear, but that my tongue hath liberty to show the inly passions boiling in my breast, I think my overburdened heart would break. What then may we conjecture? What's the cause of this remiss and inconsiderate dealing urged by the king and his confederates, but hate to virtue, and a mind corrupt with all preposterous rude misgovernment?
These prizes taken by warlike Arundel before his face are given those flatterers.
It's custom to be prodigal to any but those do best deserve.
Because he knew you would bestow them well, he gave it such, as for their private gain, neglect both honor and their country's good.
How now? What noise is this?
Some posts, it seems. Pray heaven the news be good.
Amen, I pray, for England's happiness. Speak, what tidings, Cheney?
Of war, my lord, and civil dissension, the men of Kent and Essex to rebel.
Oh, I thought no less, and always feared as much.
The Shreves in post have sent unto your grace the order to be ta'en to stay the commons for fear rebellion rise in open arms.
Now, headstrong Richard, shalt thou reap the fruit thy lewd licentious willfulness hath sown. I know not which way to bestow myself.
There is no standing on delay, my lords. These hot eruptions must have some redress, or else in time they will grow incurable.
The commons, they rebel, and the king all careless. Here's wrong on wrong to stir more mutiny. For my God, I know not what to do.
Take open arms. Join with the vexed commons and hail his minions from his wanton side. Their heads cut off, the people satisfied.
Not so, not so. Alack the day, good brother. We may not so affright the tender prince. Will bear us nobly for the kingdom's safety and the king's honor. Therefore list to me. You, brother Gaunt, and noble Arundel, shall undertake by threats or fair entreaty to pacify the murmuring commons' rage. And whiles you there employ your service, ours, we presently will call a parliament and have their deeds examined thoroughly, where if by fair means we can win no favor, nor make King Richard leave their companies, will thus resolve for our dear country's good to right her wrongs, or for it spend our bloods.
About it then, we for the commons, you for the court.
Aye, good Lancaster, I pray be careful. Come, brother York, we soon shall right all wrong and send some headless from the court ere long.
Act 2, Scene 1.
Thus shall King Richard suit his princely train despite his uncle's pride. Embrace us, gentlemen. Sir Thomas, Bagot, Bushy, Green, and Scroop, your youths are fitting to our tender years, and shall such beautify our princely throne. Fear not my uncles, nor their proudest strength, for I will buckler ye against them all.
Thanks, dearest lord. Let me have Richard's love, and like a rock unmoved, my state shall stand, scorning the proudest peer that rules the land.
Your uncles seek to overturn your state, to awe you like a child, that they alone may at their pleasures thrust you from the throne.
As if the sun were forced to decline before his dated time of darkness comes.
The sweet king set courage to authority, and let them know the power of majesty.
May not the lion roar because he's young? What are your uncles but as elephants that set their aged bodies to the oak? You are the oak against whom stock they lean. Fall from them once and then destroy them ever. Be thou no stay, King Richard, to their strength, but as a tyrant unto tyranny, and so confound them all eternally.
Law must extend into severity when subjects dare to brave their sovereign.
Tressilian, thou art Lord Chief Justice now, who should be learned in the laws but thee. Resolve us, therefore, what thou thinkst of them that under title of protectorship seek to subvert their king and sovereign.
As of the king's rebellious enemies, as underminers of his sacred state, which in the greatest prince or mightiest peer that is a subject to your majesty is nothing less than treason capital, and he is a traitor that endeavors it.
Attaint them, then. Arrest them and condemn them.
Hail them to the block and cut off their heads, all of their heads, and then King Richard claim the government.
See it be done, Tressilian, speedily.
That course is all too rash, my gracious lord.
Too rash.
Too rash for what?
It must be done with greater policy, for fear the people rise in mutiny.
Aye, there is the fear. The commons love them well, and all applaud the wily Lancaster, counterfeit relenting Duke of York, together with our fretful Uncle Woodstock, with greater reverence than King Richard's self. But time shall come when we shall yoke their necks, and make them bend to our obedience. How now? What readst thou, Bushy?
The monument of English chronicles, my lord, containing acts and memorable deeds of all your famous predecessor kings.
What findst thou of them?
Examples strange and wonderful, my lord. The end of treason even in mighty persons. For here 'tis said your royal grandfather, although but young and under government, took the protector then, proud Mortimer, and on a gallows 50 foot in height he hung him for his pride and treachery.
Why should our proud protector then presume, and we not Punish him, whose treason's viler far than ever was rebellious Mortimer. But prithee, read on. Examples such as these will bring us to our kingly grandsire's spirit. What's next?
The battle full of dread and doubtful fear was fought betwixt your father and the French.
Read on, we'll hear it.
Then the Black Prince, encouraging his soldiers, being in number by 7,750, gave the onset to the French king's peasant army, which were numbered to be 68,000, and in 1 hour got the victory, slew 6,000 of the French soldiers, took prisoners of dukes, earls, knights, and gentlemen to the number 1,700, and of the common sort 10,000. So the prisoners that were taken were twice as many as the Englishmen were in number. Besides, the thrice-renowned prince took with his own hand King John of France and his son prisoners. This was called the Battle of Poitiers, and was fought on Monday, the 19th of September, 1363, my lord.
Victory most strange and admirable. Never was conquest got with such great odds. Oh, princely Edward, had thy son such hap, such fortune and success to follow him, his daring uncles and rebellious peers durst not control and govern as they do. But these bright shining trophies shall awake me. And as we are his body's counterfeit, so will we be the image of his mind and die. But we'll attain his virtuous deeds. What next ensues, good Bushy? Read the rest.
Here is set down, my princely sovereign, the certain time and day when you were born.
Our birthday, sayest thou? Is that noted there?
It is, my lord.
Prithee, let me hear it, for thereby hangs a secret mystery which yet our uncle strangely keeps from us. On, Bushy.
Upon the 3rd of April, 1365, was Lord Richard, son to the Black Prince, born at Bordeaux.
Stay. Let me think a while. Read it again.
Upon the 3rd of April, 1365, was Lord Richard, son to the Black Prince, born at Bordeaux.
1365. What year is this?
Just now, my lord, 1387.
By that account, the 3rd of April next, our age is numbered 22 years. Oh, treacherous men that have deluded us. We might have claimed our right a 12-month since. Shut up thy book, good Bushy. Bagot, Green, King Richard in his throne will now be seen. This day I'll claim my right, my kingdom's due. Our uncles well shall know they but intrude, for which we will smite their base ingratitude.
Edmund of Langley, Duke of York, my lord, sent from the Lord Protector, and the peers doth crave admittance to your royal presence.
Our uncle Edmund, so. Were it not he, we would not speak with him. But go, admit him. Woodstock and Gaunt are stern and troublesome, but York is gentle, mild and generous, and therefore we admit his conference.
He comes, my lord.
Methinks 'tis strange, my good and reverend uncle. You and the rest should thus malign against us, and every hour with rude and bitter taunts abuse King Richard and his harmless friends. We had a father that once called ye brother, a grandsire too that titled you his son. But could they see how you have wronged King Richard, their ghosts would haunt ye, and in dead of night fright all your quiet sleeps with horrid fears. I pray, stand up. We honor reverent ears and meaner subjects. Good uncle, rise. And tell us, what further mischiefs are there now devised to torture and afflict your sovereign with?
My royal lord, even by my birth, I swear by father's tomb and faith to heaven I owe, your uncle's thoughts are all most honorable. And to that end the good protector sends me to certify your sacred majesty. The peers of England now are all assembled to hold a parliament at Westminster, and humbly crave your highness would be there to sit in council touching such affairs as shall concern your country's government.
Have they so soon procured a parliament without our knowledge too? 'Tis somewhat strange. Yet say, good uncle, we will meet them straight.
The news to all will be most wished and welcome. I take my leave, and to your grace I swear, as I am subject loyal, just, and true, will nothing do to hurt the realm or you.
We shall believe you, uncle. Go, attend him. Yes, we will meet them, but with such intent as shall dismiss their sudden parliament till we be pleased to summon and direct it. Come, sirs, to Westminster. Attend our state. This day shall make you ever fortunate. The 3rd of April. Bushy, note the time. Our age accomplished, crown, and kingdoms mine.
Act 2, Scene 2.
Now, Brother York, what says King Richard, huh?
His Highness will be here immediately.
Go, Cousin Surrey, greet the Parliament. Tell them the King is coming. Give these petitions to the knights and burgesses of the lower house, sent from the several shires of all the kingdom. These copies I will keep, and show his Highness. Pray make haste.
Pity King Richard's youth, most reverend uncles, and in your high proceedings gently use his name, use him. Think of his tender years. What is now amiss? His riper judgment shall make good and perfect to you and to the kingdom's benefit.
Alack, sweet queen, you and our lord the king have little cause to fear our just proceedings. We'll fall beneath his feet and bend our knees so he cast off those hateful flatterers that daily ruinate his state and kingdom.
Go in, sweet ladies, comfort one another. This happy Parliament shall make all even, and plant some sure peace betwixt the king and realm. May heaven direct your wisdoms to provide for England's honor and King Richard's good.
Believe no less, sweet queen. Attend her Highness.
The king is come, my lords.
Stand from the door then, make way, Cheney.
Yonder is your uncle, my lord.
Aye, with our plain protector, full of complaining, sweet Breen, I'll wage my crown.
Give them fair words. Give them fair words and smooth a while. The toils are pitched, and you may catch them quickly.
Why, how now, uncle? What, disrobe it again of all your golden rich habiliments?
Aye, aye, good cuz. I'm now in my t'other hose. I'm now my plain self, plain Thomas. And by the rood, in these plain hose, I'll do the realm more good than these that pill the poor to jet in gold.
Nay, be not angry, uncle.
Be you pleased then, good cuz, to hear me speak and view thy subjects' sad petitions. See here, King Richard, while thou livest at ease, lulling thyself in nice security, thy wronged kingdom's in a mutiny. From every province are the people come with open mouths, exclaiming on the wrongs thou and these upstarts have imposed on them. Shame is deciphered on thy palace gate. Confusion hangeth o'er thy wretched head. Mischief is coming, and in storms must fall. The oppression of the poor to heaven doth call.
Well, well, good uncle. These your bitter taunts against my friends and me will one day cease. But what's the reason you have sent for us?
To have your grace confirm this parliament and set your hand to certain articles most needful for your state and kingdom's quiet.
Where are those articles?
The states and burgesses of the parliament attend with a duty to deliver them.
Please you, ascend your throne. We'll call them in.
Yeah, we'll ask a question first, and then we'll see them. For trust me, reverend uncles, we have sworn we will not sit upon our royal throne until this question be resolved at full. Reach me that paper, Bushy. Hear me, princes, we had strange petition here delivered us. A poor man's son, his father being deceased, gave him in charge unto a rich man's hands to keep him and the little land he had till he attained to 21 years. The poor revenue amounts but to 3 crowns, and yet The insatiate churl denies his right and bars him in his fair inheritance. Tell me, I pray, will not our English laws enforce this rich man to resign his due?
Oh, there is no let to bar it, gracious sovereign. For my God, sweet prince, it joys my soul to see your grace in person, thus to judge his cause.
Such deeds as this will make King Richard shine above his famous predecessor kings, if thus he labor to establish right.
The poor man then had wrong, you all confess.
And shall have right, my liege, to quit his wrong.
Then Woodstock give us right, for we are wronged. Thou art the rich, and we the poor man's son. The realms of England, France, and Ireland are those 3 crowns thou yearly keep from us. Is it not a wrong when every mean man's son may take his birthright at the time expired, and we, the principal, being now attained almost to 22 years of age, cannot be suffered to enjoy our own, nor peaceably possess our father's right?
Was this the trick, sweet prince? Oh, alack the day. You need not thus have doubled with your friends. The right I hold, even with my heart, I render and wish your grace had claimed it long ago. Thou didst rid mine age of mickle care and woe, and yet I think I have not wronged your birthright, for if times were searched, I guess your grace is not so full of years till April next. But be it as it will, lo, here, King Richard, I thus yield up my sad protectorship. A heavy burden hast thou ta'en from me. Long mayest thou live in peace and keep thine own, that truth and justice may attend thy throne.
Then in the name of heaven we thus ascend it, and here we claim our fair inheritance of fruitful England, France, and Ireland, superior Lord of Scotland, and the rights belonging to our great dominions. Here, uncles, take the crown from Richard's hand, and once more place it on our kingly head. This day we will be new enthronished.
With all our hearts, my lord. Trumpets, be ready. Long live King Richard, of that name the second, the sovereign lord of England's ancient rights.
We thank ye all. So now we feel ourselves. Our body could not fill this chair now. It was scanted to us by protectorship. But now we let you know King Richard rules and will elect and choose, place and displace such officers as we ourselves shall like of. And first, my lords, because your age is such as pity 'twere you shouldn't be further pressed with weighty business of the common weal, we here dismiss you from the council table, and will that you remain not in our court. Deliver up your staves, and hear ye, Arundel, we do discharge ye of your admiralty. Scroop, take his office, and his place in council.
Thank your highness.
Here, take my staff, good cousin. York thus leaves thee. Thou leanest on staves that will at length deceive thee.
There lie the burden of old Lancaster, and may he perish that succeeds my place.
So, sir, we will observe your humor. Sir Henry Green succeed our Uncle York, and Bushy take the staff of Lancaster.
I thank your grace. This curse frights not me. I'll keep it to defend your majesty.
What transformations do mine eyes behold, as if the world were topsy-turvy turned. Hear me, King Richard.
Plain Thomas, I'll not hear ye.
Ye do not well to move his majesty.
Hence, flatterer, or by my soul I'll kill thee. Shall England, that so long was governed by the grave experience of white-headed age, be subject now to rash, unskillful boys? And then force the sun run backward to the east, lay Atlas' burden on a pygmy's back, appoint the sea his times to ebb and flow, and that as easily may be done as this.
Give up your council staff. We'll hear no more.
My staff, King Richard? See, cuz, here it is. full 10 years' space within a prince's hand, a soldier and a faithful counselor. This staff hath always been discreetly kept, nor shall the world report an upstart groom did glory in the honors Woodstock lost. And therefore, Richard, thus I sever it. Oh. There let him take it, shivered, cracked, and broke, as will the state of England be ere long, by thus rejecting true nobility. Farewell, King Richard. I'll to Plashy, brothers. If ye ride through Essex, call and see me. If once the pillars and supporters quail, how can the strongest castle choose but fail?
And so will he ere long. Come, let's leave them.
Aye, your places are supplied sufficiently.
Oh, doting greybeards. For God, my lord, had they not been your uncles, I'd break my council staff about their heads.
We'll have an act for this. It shall be henceforth counted high treason for any fellow with a grey beard to come within 40 foot of the court's gates.
Aye, or a great-bellied doublet will after the kingdom presently.
Oh, pox on it. We'll not have a beard amongst us. We'll shave the country and the city too. Shall we not, Richard?
Do what ye will. We'll shield and buckler thee. We'll have a guard of archers to attend us, and they shall daily wait on us and you. Send proclamation straight in Richard's name to abridge the laws our late protector made. Let some be sent to seek Tressilian forth.
Seek him? Hang him! He lurks not far off, I warrant. And there's news come abroad once, ye shall have him here presently.
Would he work on? His counsel would direct you well.
Drop, I think I shall trouble myself within a few counsels. What clever shall we have to dinner, King Richard?
No matter what today, we'll mend it shortly. The hall at Westminster shall be enlarged, and only serve us for a dining room wherein I'll daily feast 10,000 men.
Oh, an excellent device. The common have murmured against us a great while, and there's no such means as meet to stop their mouths.
But make the gate wider. Let's first fetch their money and bid them to dinner afterwards.
Blood, that I were not a counselor, I could find it meet to dine at a tavern today. Oh, sweet king, shall we be merry?
We must have money to buy new suits, my lord. The fashions we wear are gross and stale. We'll go sit in council to devise
a special purpose to be thought on. It shall be the first thing we'll do.
Come, wanton son. If Gloucester hear of this, he'll say our council guides us much amiss. Dismiss the parliament our uncles called, and tell the peers it is our present pleasure that each man parts unto his several home. When we are pleased, they shall have summons sent, and with King Richard hold a parliament. Set forward.
You of the council, march before the king. I will support his arm.
Gramercy, Green.
Act 2, Scene 3.
Tell me, dear aunt, has Richard so forgot the types of honor and nobility, so to disgrace his good and reverend uncles?
Madam, 'tis true. No sooner had he claimed the full possession of his government, but my dear husband and his noble brethren were all dismissed from the council table, banished the court, and even before their faces, their offices bestowed on several grooms.
my husband Ireland, that unloving lord, God pardon his amiss, he now is dead. King Richard was the cause he left my bed.
No more, good cousin. Could I work the means, he should not so disgrace his dearest friends. Alack the day, though I am England's queen, I meet sad hours and wake when others sleep. He meets content, but care with me must keep. Distressed poverty o'erspreads the kingdom. In Essex, Surrey, Kent, and Middlesex are 17,000 poor and indigent, which I numbered, and to help their wants, my jewels and my plate are turned to coin and shared amongst them. Oh, riotous Richard, A heavy blame is thine for this distress. Thou dost allow thy poorling flatterers to gild themselves with others' miseries.
Wrong not yourself with sorrow, gentle queen, unless that sorrow were a helping means to cure the malady you sorrow for.
The sighs I vent are not mine own, dear aunt. I do not sorrow in mine own behalf, nor now repent with peevish forwardness, and wish I ne'er had seen this English shore, but think me happy in King Richard's love. No, no, good aunt, this troubles not my soul. 'Tis England's subjects' sorrow I sustain. I fear they grudge against their sovereign.
Fear not that, madam. England's not mutinous. 'Tis peopled all with subjects, not with outlaws. Though Richard, much misled by flatterers, neglects and throws his scepter carelessly, yet none dares rob him of his kingly rule.
Besides, your virtuous charity, fair queen, so graciously hath won the commons' love, as only you have power to state a rigor.
The wealth I have shall be the poor's revenue, as sure as 'twere confirmed by Parliament. 'Tis mine own industry, and 60 more I daily keep at work is all their own. The coin I have I send them, would 'twere more. To satisfy my fears or pay those sums my wanton lord hath forced from needy subjects, I'd want myself. Go get those trunks to be filled, with those our labors to relieve the poor. Let them be carefully be distributed. For those that now shall want, we'll work again and tell them ere 2 days we shall be furnished.
What? Is the court removing? Whither goes that trunk?
Tis the Queen's charity, sir, of needful clothing to be distributed amongst the poor.
Why, there's some blessing yet that England hath a virtuous queen, although a wanton king. Good health, sweet princess. Believe me, madam, you have quick utterance for your husbandry. Your grace affords good pennyworth, sure, ye sell so fast. Pray heaven you're getting quick your safe return.
Amen. For 'tis from heaven I look for recompense.
No doubt, fair queen, the righteous powers will quit you for these religious deeds of charity. But to my message, madam, my lord the duke entreats your grace prepare with him to horse. He will this night ride home to Plashy House.
Madam, ye hear I'm sent for.
Then be gone. Leave me alone in desolation.
Adieu, good aunt. I'll see you shortly there. King Richard's kindred are not welcome.
Will ye all leave me then? Oh, woe is me. I am now crowned a queen of misery.
Where dost thou leave my husband, Cheney? Speak.
Who, as accompanied with the Dukes of York and Lancaster, who, as I guess, intend to ride with him, for which he wished me haste your grace's presence.
Thou seest the passions of the queen are such, I may not too abruptly leave her highness, but tell my lord I'll see him presently.
Sost thou King Richard, Cheney? Prithee tell me, what revels keep his flattering minions?
Oh, they sit in council to devise strange fashions and suit themselves in wild and antic habits, such as this kingdom never yet beheld. French hose, Italian cloaks, and Spanish hats, Polonian shoes with picks a handful long, tied to their knees with chains of pearl and gold. Their plumed tops fly waving in the air, a cubit high above their wanton heads. Tressilian, with King Richard, likewise sits, devising taxes and strange shifts for money to build again the hall at Westminster, to feast and revel in. And when abroad they come, 400 archers in a guard attend them.
Oh, certain ruin of this famous kingdom, fond Richard, thou build'st a hall to feast in, and starvest thy wretched subjects to erect it. Woe to those men that thus incline thy soul to these remorseless acts and deeds so foul.
The trumpets tell us that King Richard's coming. I'll take me leave, fair queen, but credit me, Ere many days again, I'll visit ye.
I'll home to Langley with my uncle York, and there lament alone my wretched state.
Blessed heaven conduct ye both. Queen Anne alone for Richard's folly still must sigh and groan.
Act 3, Scene 1.
Come, my Tressilian, thus like an emperor shall King Richard reign, and you so many kings attended on him. Our guard of archers keeps the door, I charge thee. Let no man enter to disturb our pleasures. Thou toldst me, kind Tressilian, thou dividest blank charters to fill up our treasury, opening the chest of hoarding cormorants that laugh to see their kingly sovereign lack. Let's know the means. We may applaud thy wit.
See here, my lord. Only with parchment and innocent sheepskins. Yet see, here's no fraud, no clause, no deceit in the writing.
There's nothing
writ
at all.
There's the trick on't. These blank charters shall be forthwith sent to every shreve through all the shires of England, with charge to call before them presently all landed men, freeholders, farmers, graziers, or any else that have ability. Then, in your highness' name, they shall be charged to set their names and forthwith seal these blanks. That done, these shall return to court again. But cartloads of money soon shall follow them.
Excellent, Tressilian.
Noble Lord Chief Justice.
Why should his grace get such a counselor?
Not if his beard were off. Prithee, Tressilian, off with it. 'Tis foot, thou seest we have not a beard among us. Thou sendest out barbers there to pull the whole country. Let some shave thee.
'Twould become thee better in faith, and make thee look more grim when thou sittst in judgment.
I tell ye, gallants, I will not lose a hair of my lordship and King Richard's favor for the Pope's revenues.
By your leave there. Give way to the Queen.
Oh, now, Anna B. Upstairs, my dearest queen. Is holiday, my love? Believe me, lords, 'tis strange to take her from her sempstery. She and her maids are all for housewifery. Shalt work no more, sweet Nan. Now Richard's king, and peer and people shall stoop to him. We'll have no more protecting uncles, trust me. Prithee, look smooth, and bid these nobles welcome.
Whom my lord favors must to me be welcome.
These are my counselors, I tell ye, lady, and these shall better grace King Richard's court than all the doting heads that late controlled us. Thou seest already we begin to alter the vulgar fashions of our homespun kingdom. I tell thee, Nan, the states of Christendom shall wonder at our English royalty. We held a council to devise these suits. Sir Henry Green devised this fashion shoe, Bushy this pick, Bagot and Scroop set forth this kind coherence twixt the toe and knee to have them chained together lovingly, and we as sovereign did confirm them all. Suit they not quaintly, Nan? Sweet queen, resolve me.
I see no fault that I dare call a fault, but would your grace consider with advice what you have done unto your reverend uncles? My fears provoke me to be bold, my lord. They are your noble kinsmen. To revoke the sentence were to be
An act of folly, Nan. King's words are laws. If we infringe our word, we break our law. No more of them, sweet queen.
Madam, what's done was with advice enough. The king is now at years, and hath shook off the servile yoke of mean protectorship.
His highness can direct himself sufficient. Why should his pleasures then be curbed by any as if he did not understand his state?
They tell thee true, sweet love. Come, ride with me and see today my hall at Westminster, which we have builded now to feast our friends.
Oh, do, good madam. Prithee, sweet king, let's ride somewhither, and it be but to show ourselves. As foot, our devices here are like jewels kept in a casket, or good faces and masks that grace not the owners because they're obscured. If our fashions be not published, what glory's in the wearing?
We'll ride through London only to be gazed at. Fair Anna Beam, you shall along with us. At Westminster you shall see my sumptuous hall, my royal tables richly furnished, where every day I feast 10,000 men. To furnish out which feast I daily spend 30 fat oxen and 300 sheep with fish and fowl in numbers numberless. Not all our chronicles shall point a king to match our bounty, state, and royalty, or let successors yet to come strive to exceed me. And if they forbid it, let records say, only King Richard did it.
Oh, but my lord, 'twill tire your revenues to keep this festival a year together.
As many days as I writ England's king, we will maintain this bounteous festival. Tressilian, look to your blank charter speedily. Send them abroad with trusty officers. And Bagot, see a messenger be sent to call our Uncle Woodstock home to the court. Not that we love his meddling company, but that the ragged commons love his plainness and should grow mutinous about these blanks. We'll have him near us. Within his arrow's length we stand secure. We cannot restrain his strength. See it be done. Come, Anne, to our great hall where Richard keeps his gorgeous festival.
Within there, how?
Your lordship's pleasure.
What, are those blanks dispatched?
They're all trussed up, my lord, in several places.
Where's Nimble? Where's that varlet?
As nimble as a Morris dancer, now my bells are rung. How do you like the rattlings of my chains, my lord?
Villain, thou wilt hang in chains for this. Art thou crept into the court fashion, knave?
Alas, my lord, ye know I have followed your lordship without e'er a rag since ye ran away from the court once, and I pray, let me follow fashion a little to show myself a courtier.
Go, spread those several blanks throughout the kingdom, and here's commission with the council's hands, with charge to every shreve and officer to assist and aid you. And when they're sealed and signed, see ye note well such men's ability as set their hands to them. Inquire what rents, what lands, or what revenues they spent by the year, and let me let me straight receive intelligence. Besides, I'll have you use yourselves so cunningly to mark who grudges, or who but speaks amiss of good King Richard, myself, or any of his new counselors. Attach them all for privy whisperers, and send them up. I have a trick in law shall make King Richard seize into his hands the forfeiture of all their goods and lands. Nimble, take thou these blanks, and see you take especial note of them.
Take the ditty, sir. But you shall set a note to it, for any man shall speak but ill word of anything that's written here.
Why? Ass, there's nothing.
Well, would you have them speak ill of nothing? That's strange. I mean, my lord, they should but give this paper a word, as to say, I will tear this paper, or worse, I will rend this paper, or fouler words than that, as to say, I will bum-fiddle your paper. If there be such, I will have a black book for them, my lord, I warrant ye.
Be it your greatest care to be severe. Crosby and Fleming, pray be diligent.
We shall, my lord.
And what? We should meet some ignoramus fellows, my lord, that cannot write their minds. What shall we do?
If they but set to their marks, 'tis good.
We shall meddle with no women in the blank, shall we?
Rich widows, none else, for a widow is as much as man and wife.
And then a widow's a hermaphrodite, both cut long and tail. And if she cannot write, she shall set her mark onto it.
What else, sir?
But if she have a daughter, she shall set her mother's mark to it.
Meddle with none but men and widows, I charge ye.
Well, I shall see a widow's mark then. I ne'er see none yet.
You have your lessons perfect. Now be gone. Be bold and swift in execution.
Goodbye, my lord. I will domineer over the vulgar like so many St. Georges over the poor dragons. Come, sirs, we are like to have a flourishing commonwealth and faith.
Act 3, Scene 2.
Come, my good brothers, here at Plashy House, I'll bid you welcome with as true a heart as Richard, with a false and mind corrupt, disgraced our names and thrust us from his court.
Beshrew him that repines, my lord, for me. I lived with care at court. I now am free.
Come, let's find some other talk. I think not on't. They slept soundly when I was amongst them, so let them go. This house of Plashy Brothers stands in a sweet and pleasant air, in faith. It is near the Thames and circled round with trees that in the summer serve for pleasant fans to cool ye, and in winter strongly break the storm winds that else would nip ye too.
And in faith, old York, we have all need of some kind wintering. We are beset, heaven shield, with many storms, and yet these trees at length will prove to me, like Richard and his riotous minions, their wanton heads so oft play with the winds, throwing their leaves so prodigally down, they'll leave me cold at last, and so will they make England wretched, and in the end, themselves.
If Westminster Hall devour as it began, 'twere better it was ruined lime and stone.
For my God, I late was certified that at one feast was served 10,000 dishes.
He daily feasts, they say, 10,000 men, and every man must have his dish at least.
30 fat oxen and 300 sheep serve but one day's expenses.
100 scarcely can suffice his guard. A camp of soldiers feeds not like those bowmen.
But how will these expenses be maintained?
They say there are strange tricks come forth to fetch in money. What they are, I know not.
You've heard of the fantastic suits they wear. Never was England so habited.
We could allow his clothing, Brother Woodstock, but we have 4 kings more are equaled with him. There's Bagot, Bushy, Wanton Green, and Swoop, in state and fashion without difference.
Indeed, they're more than kings, for they rule him.
Oh, come. Our breaths reverberate the wind. We talk like good divines, but cannot cure the grooms of the sin. Or shall we speak like all-commanding, wise astronomers and flatly say, such a day shall be fair, and yet it rains, whether he will or no. So may we talk, but thus will Richard do.
How now, Cheney? What drives thee on so fast?
If I durst, I would say, my lord, Tressilian drives me on, half as ill. I'm still the pursuivant of unhappy news. Here's blank charters, my lord, I pray behold them, sent from King Richard and his counselors.
Thou makest me blank at the very sight of them.
They appear in shape of obligations.
They are no less. The country's full of them. Commissions are come down to every shreve to force the richest subjects of the land to set their hands and forthwith seal these blanks, and then the bond must afterwards be paid. That shall confirm a due debt to the king, as much or little as they please to point it.
Oh, strange, unheard of, a vile taxation.
Who is it can help my memory a little? Has not this error been held a principle? There's nothing spoke or done that has not been.
It was a maxim ere I had a beard.
'Tis now found false. An open heresy, this is a thing was never spoke nor done. Blank charters call ye them? If any age keep but a record of this policy, I phrase it too well. Flat villainy. Let me be chronicled apostata, rebellious to my God and country both.
How do the people entertain these blanks?
With much dislike, yet some for fear have signed them. Others there be refuse and murmur strangely.
For my God, I cannot blame them for it. He might as well have sent defiance to them. Oh, vulture England, wilt thou eat thine own? Can they be rebels called that now turn head? I speak but what I fear, not what I wish. This foul oppression will withdraw all duty in the commons' hearts, not hot rancors breed, to make our country's bosom shortly bleed.
What shall we do to seek for remedy?
Let each man hie him to his several home before the people rise in mutiny, and in the mildest part of lenity seek to restrain them from rebellion. But what can else be looked for? Promise redress, that eloquence is best in this distress.
Your counsel's well. Let's haste away. The time is sick. We must not use delay.
Let's still confer by letters.
Content, content. So friends may parley even in banishment. Farewell, good brother. Cheney, conduct them. Adieu, good York, and gaunt farewell forever. I have a sad presage come suddenly that I shall never see these brothers more. Of Edward III's 7 sons, we 3 are left to see our father's kingdom ruinate. I would my death might end the misery my fear presages to my wretched country. The commons will rebel without all question, and for my God, I have no eloquence to stay this uproar. I must tell them plain, we are all struck, but must not strike again. How now, what news?
There's a horseman at the gate, my lord. He comes from the king, he says, to see your grace.
To see me, sayest thou? In God's name, let him come. He brings no blank charters with him. Prithee, bid him light and tender.
Yeah, I think he dares not for fouling on his feet, my lord. I would have had him light, but he swears he's a courtier. He would not off on horse's back till the inner gate be open.
Passion of me, that's strange. I prithee, give him satisfaction. Open the inner gate. What might this fellow be?
Some fine fool. He's attired very fantastically and talks as foolishly.
Go, let him in. And when you have done, bid Cheney come and speak with me.
I will, my lord. Come on, sir, you may ride into my lord's cellar now, and ye will, sir.
Prithee, fellow, stay and take my horse.
I have business for my lord, sir. I cannot.
A rude swain, by heaven. But stay, here walks another. Hearest thou, fellow, is this plashy house?
Ye should have asked that question before you came in, sir. But this is it.
The hind's roll is rude and gross. I prithee, walk my horse.
I have a little business, sir.
Thou shalt not lose by it. I'll give thee a tester for thy pains.
I shall be glad to earn money, sir.
Prithee, do, and know thy duty. Thy head's too saucy.
Oh, cry ye mercy. I did not understand your worship's calling.
The Duke of Gloucester lies here, does he not?
Marry, does he, sir?
Is he within?
He's not far off, sir. He was here even now.
Ah, very good. Walk my horse, I prithee. He's travelled hard, and he's hot, in faith. I'll in and speak with the Duke, and pay thee presently.
I make no doubt, sir. Oh, strange metamorphosis. Is it possible that this fellow that's all made of fashion should be an Englishman? No marvel if he know not me, being so brave and I so beggarly. Well, I will earn money to enrich me now, and 'tis the first I earned by the rood this 40 year. Come on, sir. You have sweat hard about this haste, yet I think you know little of the business. Why, so I say. You're a very indifferent beast. You'll follow any man that will lead you. Now, truly, sir, you look but e'en leanly on it. You feed not in Westminster holidays where so many sheep and oxen are devoured. I'm afraid they'll eat you shortly if you tarry amongst them. You're pricked more with the spur than provender, I see that. I think your dwelling be at Hackney when you're at home, is not? You know not the Duke neither, nor no more than your master. And yet I think you have as much wit as he. Faith, say a man should steal ye and feed ye fatter. Could ye run away with him lustily? Your silence argues a consent, I see. By the mass, here comes company. We had both been taken. We had been both taken if we had, I see.
Saw you not my lord at the gate, say ye? I had left him there but now.
In sooth, I saw no creature, sir, only an old groom that I got to walk my horse.
A groom, say ye? 'Sfoot, 'tis my lord the Duke. What have ye done? This is somewhat too coarse. Your grace should be an ostler to this fellow.
I do beseech your grace's pardon. The error was in the mistake. Your plainness did deceive me. Please it your grace to redeliver the reins.
No, by my faith, I'll have my money first. Promise is a debt.
Oh, I know your grace's goodness will refuse it.
Think not so nicely of me. Indeed, I will not.
If so you please, here's your tester.
If so you please, there is your horse, sir. Now, pray you tell me, what is your haste to me?
Oh, most swift and serious from his majesty.
What, from King Richard, my dear lord and kinsman? Go, sirrah, take you his horse, lead him to the stable, meet him well. I'll double his reward. There's 12 pence for ye.
I thank your grace.
Now, sir, your business.
His majesty commends him to your grace.
This seems a rare fashion you have got at court. Of whose devising was it, I pray?
I assure your grace, King Richard's council sat in 3 days about it.
Aha. By my faith, their wisdom took great pains, I assure ye. The state was well employed the while by the rude, then this at court is all the fashion now?
The king himself doth wear it, whose most gracious majesty hath sent me in haste.
This pick doth strangely well become the foot.
This pick the king doth likewise wear, being a Polonian pick, and me did his highness pick from forth the rest.
He could not have picked out such another, I assure ye.
I thank your grace that picks me out so well. But as I said, his highness would request...
But this most fashionable chain that links, as it were, the toe and knee together.
In a most kind coherence, so I'd like your grace. For those two parts being in operation and quality different, as for example, the toe a disdainer or spurner, and the knee a dutiful and most humble orator, this chain doth, as it were, so toeify the knee, and so kneeify the toe, that between both it makes a most methodical coherence, or a coherent method.
'Tis most excellent, sir, and full of art. Please, walk ye in.
My message tendered, I will tend your grace.
Cry ye mercy. Have you a message to me?
His Majesty, most affectionately and like a royal kinsman, entreats your grace's presence at court.
Is that your message, sir? I must refuse it then. My English plainness will not suit that place. The court's too fine for me. My service here will stand in better stead to quench the fire those blanks have made. I would they all were burnt, or he hanged that first devised them, sir. They stir the country so. I dare not come. And so, excuse me, sir, if the king think it ill, he thinks amiss. I am plain Thomas still. The rest I'll tell ye as ye sit at meat. Furnish a table, Cheney. Call for wine. Come, sir. Ye shall commend me to the king. Tell him I'll keep these parts in peace to him.
Act 3, Scene 3.
Dispatch, good Master Bailey. The markets are almost done, you see. It is rumoured that the bright to come, and the rich shows begin to flock out of the town, and therefore I charge ye, in the king's name, be ready to assist us.
Nay, look ye, sir. Be not too pestiferous, I beseech thee. I have begun myself and sealed one of your blanks already, and by my example there's more shall follow. I know my place and calling. My name is Ignorance, and I am a Bailey of Dunstable. I cannot write nor read, I confess it, nor more could my father nor his father, nor none of the ignorance this 100 years, I assure thee.
Name proclaims no less, sir, and it has been a most learned generation.
Though I cannot write, I have set my mark, ecce signum. Read it, I beseech thee.
The mark of Simon Ignorance, the Bailey of Dunstable, being a sheep hook with a tar box at the end on it.
Very right. It was my mark ever since I was an innocent, and therefore, as I say, I have begun and will assist ye. For here be rich whoresons in the town, I can tell ye, that will give ye the slip, and ye not look to it.
Well, we therefore presently will divide ourselves. You two shall stay here while we, Master Ignorance, with some of your brethren, the men of Dunstable, walk through the town, noting the carriage of the people. They say there are strange songs and libels about the marketplace against my Lord Tressilian, and the rest of the king's young counselors. If there be such be, well, then we will have some aid and attach them speedily.
Ye shall do well, sir. And for your better aiding, if you can but find out my brother, Master Ignoramus, he will be most perseverous unto thee, I assure ye.
I'm afraid he will not be found, sir, but we'll inquire. Come, fellow Fleming, and Nimble, look to the whisper as I charge ye.
Warrant ye. Come, Master Bailey, let your billmen retire till we can call them, and you and I will here shadow ourselves and write down their speech.
Oh, nay, you shall write, and I will mark, sir. Oh, and see, here comes some already, all rich cubs by the mass. I know them all, sir.
Tarry, good neighbours. Take a knave with ye. What a murrain! Is a bear broke loose in the town that you make such haste from the market?
A bear? No, nor a lion baited neither. I tell ye, neighbor, I'm more afraid of the bee than the bear. There's wax to be used today, and I have no seal about me. I may tell you in secret, here's a dangerous world towards. Neighbor, you're a farmer, and I hope there's none but God and good company. We live in such a state. I'm even almost a-weary of all, I assure ye. Here's my other neighbor, the butcher that dwells at Hockley. He's heard his landlord tell strange tidings. We shall be hoisted, and we tarry here, I can tell ye.
Begin to murmur. I'll put them down for whisperers, Master Bailey. What's he that talks so?
His name is Cowtail, a rich grazier, and dwells here hard by at Leighton Buzzard.
Cowtail, a grazier, dwelling at Leighton Buzzard, Master Bailey.
Right, sir. Listen again, sir.
Ah, sirrah! And what said the good knight, your landlord neighbour?
Well, Mary, he said, but I'll not stand to anything. I tell you that aforehand. He said that King Richard's new counselors, God amend them, had crept into honester men's places than themselves were, and the king's uncles and the old lords were all banished the court. And he said flatly, we should never have a merry world as long as it was so.
You and your landlord were both hanged for this.
And then he said there's one Tresillian, a lawyer, that has crept in amongst them and is now a lord, forsooth. And he has set down into every country of England a sort of black chapters.
Black chapters? God's name, neighbor, out of what black book were they taken?
Come. They are blank charters, neighbors. I heard of them before, and therefore I made such haste away. They're sent down to the high shreve with special charge that every man that is of any credit or worship in the country must set their hands and seal to them. For what I intend, I know not. I say no more. I smell something.
Well, masters, let's be wise. We're not all one man's. They say they are whispering knaves. Let's hie us home, for I assure ye, 'twas told me where I broke my fast this afternoon, that there were above 80 gentlemen in our shire that had set their hands and seats to those blank charters already.
Now God amend them for it. They have given an ill example we shall be forced to follow.
I would my wife and children were at Jerusalem with all the wealth. I'd make shift for one, I warrant them. Come, ladies, let's be gone.
Forward with your bills, Master Bailey. Not too fast, sirs. I charge ye in the king's name to stand till we have done with ye.
Saint Benedict, what must we do, trow?
Be not so pestiferous, my good friends and neighbors. You are men of wealth and credit in the country, and therefore, as I myself and others have begun, I charge ye in this highness's name presently to set your hands and seals to these blank charters.
Just to rescue my soul, I'm departed.
I've been struck at the heart too.
Alas, sir, we are poor men. What should our hands do?
There is no harm, I warrant thee. What need you fear when ye see Bailey ignorance is sealed before ye?
I pray ye, let's see them, sir.
Here, ye bacon-fed pudding eaters, are ye afraid of sheepskin?
That, 'tis somewhat darkly written.
Aye, it was done of the night, sure.
Mass neighbors, here's nothing that I see.
Oh, and can it be any harm, think ye, to set your hands to nothing? These blank charts are but pieces of parchment, and let's set our marks to them and be rid of an knave's company.
As good as first as last, we can be but undone.
Aye, and our own hands undo us. That's the worst on't. Lends your pen, sir.
We must all venture, neighbors. There's no remedy.
Grumble as they do it. I must put them down for whisperers and grumblers. Come, have you done yet?
Aye, sir. Would you and they were sodden for my swine.
Here's wax then, I'll seal them for ye, and ye shall severely have them taken off and then deliver them as your deeds. Come, you boar's grease, take this seal here. So this is your deed.
Faith, sir, in some respect it is, and it is not.
And this is yours.
Aye, sir. Against my will, I swear.
Oxjaw, take off this seal. You'll deliver your deed with good conscience.
There 'tis, sir, against my conscience. God's my witness. I hope ye have done with us now, sir.
No, ye caterpillars. We have worse matters against ye yet. Sirrah, you know what your landlord told ye concerning my lord Tresillian and King Richard's new favorites. And more than that, you know your own speech. And therefore, Master Bailey, let some of your billmen away with them to the high shreves presently, either to put in bail or be sent up for the court for privy whisperers.
Their offenses are most pestiferous. Away with them.
No, out with us!
We shall all hang, sure.
Sure.
Hanging, nay, that's the least on it. Ye shall tell me that in a 12-month hence, else. Stay close, Master Bailey. We shall catch more of these traitors presently.
You shall find me most pestiferous to assist ye, and so I pray ye commend my service to your good lord and master. Come, sir, stand close. I see here more.
Nay, sweet master, schoolmaster, let's hear it again, I beseech thee.
Pacienza, you are a serving man, I am a scholar. I have shown art and learning in these verses, I assure ye, and yet, if they were well searched, they're little better than libels. But the carriage of a thing is all, sir. I have covered them already, rarely.
Fruit. Oh, the country's so full of intelligences that two men can scarce walk together, but they're attached for whisperers.
This paper shall wipe their noses, and they shall not bow to a goose for it. For I have these verses sung to their faces by one of my schoolboys, wherein I'll tickle them all, i' faith. Shall tear else. But first, let's look there be no pitchers with ears, nor nettles with eyes about us.
Come, you're all safe, I warrant ye.
Mark then, here I come over them for their blank charters, shalt hear else. Will ye buy any parchment knives? We sell for little gain, whoe'er are weary of their lives, they'll rid them of their pay. Blank charters they are called, a vengeance on the villain. I would he were both flayed and bald. My God bless my Lord Tressilian.
They're damned 300 fathom deep already.
Nay, look ye, sir, there can be no exception taken for this last line helps off, wherein with a kind of equivocation I say, God bless my Lord Tressilian. Do ye mark, sir? Now, here in the next verse I run o'er all the flatterers in the court by name, ye shall see else. A poison may be green, but bushy can be no faggot.
Oh.
God mend the king and bless the queen, and 'tis no matter for Bagot. For Scroop, he does no good, but if you know the villain, his name is now to be understood. God bless my Lord Tressilian. How like ye this, sir?
Oh, most excellent face.
Raiders. Master Bailey, to your authority.
Two most pestiferous traitors, lay hold of them, I charge ye.
What mean you, sir?
Nay, talk not, for if ye had 100 lives, they were all hanged. Ye have spoken treason to the 9th degree.
Treason? Paciencia, good sir, we spoke not a word.
Be not so pestiferous. Mine ears have heard your examinations, wherein you uttered most shameful treason. For ye said, God bless my Lord Tressilian.
I hope there's no treason in that, sir.
Now be prayed. Master Bailey, their hands shall be bound under a horse's belly and sent up to him presently. They'll both be hanged, I warrant them.
Well, sir, if we be, we'll speak more ere we be hanged in spite of ye.
Aye. When you're hanged, you'll speak what you will. We care not. Away with them. You see, Master Bailey, what knaves are abroad now you are here. 'Tis time to look about, ye see.
I see there are knaves abroad indeed, sir. I speak for mine own part. I will do my best to reform the pestiferousness of the time. And as, for example, I have set my mark to the charters, so will I set mine eyes to observe these dangerous cases.
Again, Master Bailey, here comes another whisperer I see by. Oh, villain! He whistles treason. I'll lay hold of him myself.
Out, alas, what do you mean, sir?
A rank traitor, Master Bailey. Lay hold on him, for he has most erroneously and rebelliously whistled treason.
Whistled treason? Alas, sir, how can that be?
Very easily, sir. There's a piece of treason that flies up and down this country in the likeness of a ballad, and this being the very tune of it thou hast whistled.
Alas, sir, you know I spake not a word.
That's all one. If any man whistles treason, 'tis all as speaking it. Mark me, Master Bailey, the bird whistles that cannot speak, and yet there be birds in a manner that can speak too. Your raven will call ye black, your crow will call ye knave. Master Bailey, ergo, he that can whistle can speak, and therefore this fellow hath both spoke and whistled treason. How say you, Bailey, ignorance?
Ye well, sir, but ye shall hear me sift him nearer, for I do not think but there are greater heads in this matter. And therefore, my good fellow, be not pestiferous, but say and tell the truth. Who did set you a work? Or who was the cause of your whistling? Or did any man say to you, go whistle?
Not any man, woman, or child, truly, sir.
No? How durst you whistle then? Or what cause had ye to do so?
In truth, sir, I had lost 2 calves out of my pasture, and being in search for them from the top of the hill, I might spy you 2 at the bottom here and took you for calves, sir. And that made me come whistling down for joy and hope that I'd found them.
Treason yet! He takes a courtier and a bailey for 2 calves! To limbo with him, he shall be quartered and then hanged.
Oh, good Master Bailey, be pitiful.
Why, look ye, sir, he makes a pitiful fellow of a bailey too. Away with them. Yet stay a while. Here comes your fellow, sir.
Now, Master Bailey, are your blanks sealed yet?
They are, sir, and we have done this day most strange and pestiferous service, I assure ye, sir.
Your care shall be rewarded. Come, fellow Nimble, we must to court about other employments. There are already 13,000 blanks signed and returned to the Shreves, and 700 sent up to the court for whisperers, out of all which my lord will fetch around some, I doubt it not. Come, let's away.
I will follow. Come, ye sheep biter. Here's a traitor of all traitors that not only speaks, but has whistled treason. Come, sir, I'll spoil your whistle, I warrant ye.
Okay, we're going to take 5 minutes here, everybody. So we'll be back on the hour, whichever hour you might be in. So go take a break, get some water, use the restroom, do what you need to do.
Thank you, Five.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Thanks, Drew. Hey, Paul.
Hey, thank you guys. I'm enjoying it. I missed a lot of it because I'm up actually in Vermont right now, but what I've heard sounds great. So thank you.
It's a nice transition of styles in the play as well.
Yeah, which is also, that's one of the things about, when we get to Shakespeare's Richard II next, where a play that is almost, that is, a lot of people say, is entirely in verse, and except really for there's comic scenes in it. I mean, it's, but not as broad as some of the things you've got here, which are fun.
But York's big scene with Hotspur has that nice comic ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what? It's 2 hours ago. So it's almost 2 a.m. for you there.
Yeah, I'm surviving. My wife snuck in and shut my bedroom door, so she didn't have to listen to me. Well, she doesn't hear you guys because I've got headphones on, but she does hear me.
Oh, sorry about this. Thanks for
And she
doing
was-
this.
Oh, it's
Jeez.
great. Oh, no, it's good. I never come up against it before. It's well worth playing around. Good to see it.
Mhm. It's an interesting play. I like that staff breaking scene has a foreshadowing of that mirror breaking scene in the Richard II.
Mhm.
Talk about being smashed into shivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. It's cool.
Yeah, and it's
And-
fun
and
because. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're going to say it makes you realize how shitty Baggett and Green and all the rest of them really are.
I was going to say, I have a question, and forgive my ignorance if I'm mistaken, but is it in Richard II, the whole thing about Mowbray was supposedly involved with the attempted assassination of Gaunt?
Yeah.
But there's no mention of him, this character in this play, or is one of these guys.
Very, very interesting. I always, the first act of Richard II is always really hard to understand because you're like, who's accusing you of what? Why is this a big deal? Because it is sort of a way, in my mind, a way of accusing Richard to his face without actually accusing him.
Yeah.
Saying somebody is responsible for this. I think it's him looking Richard in the eye, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I imagine.
But he's not even in this play.
No. He's a scapegoat, really.
Right.
So
as far
and
as
he does say in Richard II that he was approached about, he suggested he was approached about killing Gaunt, but he said no, he didn't want any part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's why he has to be gotten rid of, because Richard, that's what I love about Richard II. All that is supposedly exposed is not, which is his whole motive for getting rid of Bolingbroke and getting Mowbray excommunicated, because it's, he's not such a sweet guy.
And poor old Gaunt may die early on, but he has that switch. My England.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And you put the two plays together, you get a more of a substantial role. For Gaunt.
Yeah, and this one, Green fights for his life. He fights these guys, and the other one, he's beheaded.
Right. It's funny, yes, because Green is actually killed in this play.
Right.
And then comes back miraculously. So you have that little disjointed.
Exactly. That's why they say it can't be the same author, because it would not be a continuation. And also the circumstances of Green's death are different. He doesn't have his head chopped off.
It helps you understand Richard II.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
I also think, reading this first and then Richard II, the language is so different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's Shakespeare.
It reminds me.
It's not bad, though. I like it.
It's not
so much
bad.
the language. It's the beautiful imagery in Richard too.
Right.
Yeah, but this is it's almost getting there. Like there's some stuff like Nimble in that last scene is sort of, it reminds me of the Dogberry scenes. It's sort of like
Definitely.
But Richard II has all this gorgeous, the garden scene is my favorite scene. It has all this beautiful imagery.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Well, I'm always of the opinion that some of these plays were written by committee anyway. Because of the pressure of having to get them done in time to please the public, they had to have fresh stuff all the time. Not totally
It's like there's a continuation. He starts off doing bits and things, then Shakespeare takes over control and writes them himself, and then towards the end he brings in other authors to take some of the pressure off.
Yeah.
Well, he probably wrote for the Queen, Merry Wives of Windsor in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
She wanted. I just lost you.
The language in this one reminds me a little bit of King John, more than it does Richard II.
Yeah.
It's a little more to the point.
I think
exactly.
Richard, but Richard too is a high point.
Yeah. And it has its high points. It also has its scenes of business that are pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, are we all back? I mean, there's no way to really confirm that. We hear someone not jumping
Yes.
Everybody in the next scene is, or I am.
in. Great.
Okay.
All right. So when last we met our heroes, they're pulling money out of everyone in the kingdom. All right. So here we are, Act 4, Scene 1.
Sir, are the bags sealed?
Yes, my lord.
Then take my keys and lock the money in my study safe. Bar and make sure I charge ye. So be gone.
I will, my lord.
So 7,000 pounds from Bedford, Buckingham, and Oxfordshires. These blanks have already returned to the king. So then there's 4 for me and 3 for him. Our pains in this must needs be satisfied. Good husbands will make hay while the sun shines, and so must we, for thus conclude these times. So men be rich enough, they're good enough. Let fools make conscience how they get their coin. I'll please the king and keep me in his grace, for prince's favors purchase land apace. These blanks that I have scattered in the realm shall double his revenues to the crown.
Now, Lord Tressilian, is the coin come in yet?
King Richard wants money. You're too slack, Tressilian.
Some shires have sent, and more, my lords, will follow. These sealed blanks I now have turned to bonds, and these shall down to Norfolk presently. The coffs with much ado have signed and sealed, and there's a secret note my men have sent of all their yearly states amounts unto, and by this note I justly tax their bonds. Here's a fat Horseman in his russet slops, and yet may spend 300 pounds by the year, the third of which the hog's face owes the king. And here's his bond for it, with his hand and seal, and so by this I'll sort each several sum. The thirds of all shall go to King Richard come. How like you this, my lords?
Most rare, Tressilian, hang 'em cocks' heads. Shall they spend their money and Richard King lack it? Or King Richard lack it?
Are not their lives and lands and livings his? Then wreck them thoroughly.
Oh, my lords, I have set a trick afoot for ye, and ye follow it hard and get the king to sign it, you'll all be kings by it.
The farming out the kingdom? Tush, Tressilian, 'tis half granted already, and had been fully concluded had not the messenger returned so unluckily from the Duke of Gloucester, which a little moved the king at his uncle's stubbornness. But to make all whole, we have left that smooth-faced, flattering Green to follow him close, and he'll never leave till he has done it, I warrant ye.
There's no question on it. King Richard will betake himself to a yearly stipend, and we 4, by lease, must rent the kingdom.
Rent it and rack it too, where we forfeit our leases, and we had them once. How now, Bagot, what news?
All rich and rare, the realm must be divided presently, and we 4 must farm it. The leases are a-making, and for 7,000 pounds a month the kingdom is our own, boys.
So let's differ for no price, and it was 70,000 pounds a month. We'll make somebody pay for it.
Highness.
He will be here presently to seal the writings. He's a little angry that the Duke comes not, but that will vanish quickly. On with your soothiest faces, ye wrenching rascals. Humor him finely, and you're all made by it.
See, he comes, and that flattering hound Green close at elbows.
Come, we must all flatter if we mean to live by it.
Our uncle will not come then?
That was his answer, flat and resolute.
Whatever subject so audacious.
And can your grace, my lord, digest these wrongs?
Yes, as a mother that beholds her child dismembered by a bloody tyrant's sword. I tell thee, Bagot, in my heart remain such deep impressions of his churlish taunts as nothing can remove the gall thereof, till with his blood mine eyes be satisfied.
Foot, raise powers, my lord, and fetch him there. Thence
I dare not, Green. For while he keeps in the country, there is no meddling. He's so well beloved as all the realm will rise in arms with him.
'Sfoot, my lord, and you'd fain have him. I have a trick shall fetch him from his house at Plashy in spite of all his favorites.
Let's have it, Tressilian. My wit must help, or all stashed else.
Then thus, my lord. While the Duke securely revels in the country, we'll have some trusty friends disguise themselves like maskers, and this night ride down to Plashy, and in the name of some near adjoining friends, offer their sports to make him merry, which he no doubt will thankfully accept. Then, in the mask, we'll have it so devised, the dance being done and the room voided then, upon some occasion single, the Duke alone, thrust him in a masking suit, clap a vizard on his face, and so convey him out of the house at pleasure.
How if he cries?
What serves your drums but to drown his cries? And being in a mask will never be suspected.
And to help it, my lord, Laporte, the governor of Calais, is new come over, who with a troop of soldiers closely ambushed in the woods near the house shall shroud themselves till the mask be ended. Then the Duke, being attached, he shall there be ready to receive him, hurry him away to the Thames side, where a ship shall be laid ready for his coming. So clap him under hatches, hoist sails, and secretly convey him out of the realm to Calais. And so by this means ye shall prevent all mischiefs. For neither of your uncles nor any of the kingdom shall know what's become of him.
I like it well, sweet Green. And by my crown will be of the mask ourselves. And so shall you. Get horses ready. This night we'll ride to Plashy, but see ye carry it close and secretly. For whilst this plot's a working for the Duke, I'll set a trap for York and Lancaster. Go, Tressilian. Let proclamation straight be sent wherein thou shalt accuse the Dukes of treason, and then attack, condemn, and close imprison them. Lest the commons should rebel against us, we'll send unto the King of France for aid. And in requital, we'll surrender up our forts of Guienne and Calais to the French. Let crown and kingdom waste, yea, life and all, before King Richard see his true friends fall. Give order our disguises be made ready, and let Lapoule provide the ships and soldiers. We will not sleep, by heaven, till we have seized him.
'Sfoot, urge our suit again. He will forget it else.
These traitors once surprised, then all is sure. Our kingdom quiet, and your state secure.
Oh, most true, sweet Queen King. And then your grace, as you promised, farming out the kingdom to us four, shall not need to trouble yourself with any business. This old Turcock Tressilian shall look to the law, and will govern the land most rarely.
So, sir, the love of thee and these, my dearest Green, hath won King Richard to consent to that for which all foreign kings will point at us. And of the meanest subjects of our land we shall be censured strangely when they tell how our great father toiled his royal person, spending his blood to purchase towns in France. And we, his son, to ease our wanton youth, become a landlord to this warlike realm. Rent out our kingdom like a pelting farm that erst was held as fair as Babylon, the maiden conqueress of all the world.
What need you care what the folks world talks? You still retain the name of king. And if any disturb ye, we four come presently from the four parts of the kingdom with 4 peasant armies to assist you.
You four must be all then. For I think nobody else will follow you unless it be to hanging.
Richard, King Richard, will you be as good as your word and seal the writings? Mrs. Foot, and thou dost not, and I do not join with thine uncles and turn traitor when I might be turned to a toadstool.
Very well, sir. They did well to choose you for their orator that has King Richard's love and heart in keeping. Your suit is granted, sir. Let's see the writings.
They're here, my lord.
They're here, my lord.
View them, Tressilian. Then we'll sign and seal them. Look to your bargain, Green. and be no looser. For if you forfeit or run behind hand with me, I swear I'll both imprison and punish you soundly.
Forfeit, sweet king, sweet king, sweet king. 'Tis blood. I'll sell their houses ere I forfeit my lease. I warrant you thee.
If they be stubborn, do not spare them. Rack them soundly, and we'll maintain it. Remember ye not the proviso enacted in our last parliament, that no statuette, were it ne'er so profitable for the commonwealth, should stand in any force against our proceedings?
'Tis true, my lord. Then what should hinder you to accomplish anything that may best please your kingly spirit to determine?
True, Green, and we will do it in spite of them. Is it just, Tressilian?
Most just, my liege. These gentlemen here, Sir Henry Green, Sir Edward Bagot, Sir William Bushy, and Sir Thomas Scroop, all jointly here stand bound to pay your majesty, or your deputy, wherever you remain, 7,000 pounds a month for this your kingdom, for which your grace, by these writings, surrenders to their hands all your crown lands, lordships, manors, rents, taxes, subsidies, 15s, imposts, foreign customs, staples for wool, tin, lead, and cloth, all forfeitures of goods or lands confiscate, and all other duties that is, shall, or may appertain to the king or crown's revenues. And for non-payment of the sum or sums aforesaid, your majesty to seize the lands and goods of the said gentlemen above named, and their bodies to be imprisoned at your grace's pleasure.
How like you that, Green? Believe me, if you fail, I'll not favor ye a day.
I'll ask no favor at your hand, sir. Ye shall have your money at your day, and then do your worst, sir.
'Tis very good. Set to your hands and seals, Tressilian. We make you our deputy to receive this money. Look strictly to them, I charge ye.
If the money come not to my hands at the time appointed, I'll make them smoke for it.
Aye, you're an upright justice, sir. We fear ye not. Here, my lord. They're ready. Signed and sealed.
Deliver them to his majesty, all together as your special deeds.
We do with humble thanks unto his majesty that makes us tenants to so rich a lordship.
Keep them, Tressilian. Now will we sign and seal to you. Never had English subjects such a landlord.
Nor never had English king his subjects as we four that are able to farm a whole kingdom and pay him rent for it.
Look that you do. We shall expect performance speedily. That's your indenture signed, sealed, which as our kingly deed we here deliver.
Thou neverst did a better deed in thy life, sweet bully. Thou mayest now live at ease. We'll toil for thee and send thy money in tumbling.
We shall see your care, sir. Reach me the map, we may allot your portions and part the realm amongst them equally. You four here shall by us divide yourselves into the 39 shires and counties of my kingdom. Parted thus, come stand by me and mark those shires assigned to you. Bagot, thy lot betwixt the Thames and sea thus lies. Kent, Surrey, Sussex, Hampshire, Berkshire, Wiltshire, Dorsetshire, Somersetshire, Devonshire, Cornwall, those parts are thine, as ample, Bagot, as the crown is mine.
Oh, thanks, love, duty to my princely sovereign.
Bushy, from thee shall stretch his government over these counties that lie in Wales, together with our counts of Gloucester, Worcester, Hereford, Shropshire, Staffordshire, and Cheshire. There's thy lot.
Thanks to my king that thus hath honoured me.
Sir Thomas Scroop, from Trent to Tweed, thy lot is parted thus. All Yorkshire, Derbyshire, Lancashire, Cumberland, Westmoreland, and Northumberland. Receive thy lot, thy state and government.
With faith and duty to your highness's throne.
Now, my Green, what have I left for thee?
You give me nothing? Then good night, landlord. Since ye have served me last, and I be not the last shall pay your rent, ne'er trust me.
I kept thee last to make thy part the greatest. See here, sweet Green, These shires are thine. Even from the Thames to Trent, thou here shalt lie in the middle of my land.
Oh, that's best in the winter. Are there any pretty wenches in my government?
Guess that by this. Thou hast London, Middlesex, Essex, Suffolk, Norfolk, Cambridgeshire, Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, Buckinghamshire, Oxfordshire, Northamptonshire, Rutlandshire, Leicestershire, Warwickshire, Huntingdonshire, and Lincolnshire. There's your portion, sir.
Then I will rule like a king amongst them. And that shall reign like an emperor over us.
Thus have I parted out my whole realm amongst ye. Be careful of your charge and government. And now we attack our stubborn uncles. Let warrants be sent down, Tressilian, for Gaunt and York, Surrey and Arundel, while we this night at Plassey suddenly surprise plain Woodstock. Being parted thus, we shall with greater ease arrest and take them. Your places are not sure while they have breath. Therefore pursue them hard. Those traitors gone. The staves are broke the people lean upon, and you may guide and rule them at your pleasures. Away to Plassey. Let our mask be ready. Beware, plain Thomas. For King Richard comes resolved with blood to wash all former wrongs.
Act 4, Scene 2.
The queen's so sick. Come, make haste, good wife. Thou'lt be belated sure, 'tis night already. On with thy cloak and mask, to horse, to horse.
Good troth, my lord, I have no mind to ride. I have been dull and heavy all this day. My sleeps were troubled with sad dreams last night, and I am full of fear and heaviness. Pray let me ride tomorrow.
What? And the queen so sick? Away, for shame. Stay for a dream. Thou'st dreamt, I'm sure, ere this.
Never so fearful were my dreams till now. Had they concerned myself, my fears were past. But you were made the object of mine eye, and I beheld you murdered cruelly.
Ha ha! Murdered? Alack, good lady, didst thou dream of me? Oh, take comfort then. All dreams are contrary.
Pray God it prove so, for my soul is fearful. The vision did appear so lively to me. Methought, as you were ranging through the woods, an angry lion with a herd of wolves had in an instant round encompassed you, when to your rescue against the course of kind, a flock of silly sheep made head against them, bleating for help, against whom the forest king roused up his strength and slew both you and them. This fear affrights me.
For my God, thou art foolish. I'll tell thee all thy dream. Thou knowest last night we had some private talk about the blanks the country's taxed withal, where I compared the state as now it stands, meaning King Richard and his harmful flatterers, unto a savage herd of ravening wolves, the commons to a flock of silly sheep who, whilst their slothful shepherd careless stood, those forest thieves broke in and sucked their blood. And this thy apprehension took so deep, the form was portrayed lively in thy sleep. Come, 'tis nothing. What, are her horses ready?
They are, my lord.
Where is the gentleman that brought this message? Where lies the queen, sir?
At Scene, my lord, most sick and so much altered as those about her fear her sudden death.
Forfended heaven. Away, make haste, I charge ye. What? Weeping now? For my God, thou art fond. Come, I know thou art no augurer of ill. Dry up thy tears. This kiss and part. Farewell.
That farewell from your lips to me sounds ill. Where'er I go, my fears will follow still.
See her to horseback, Cheney. For my God, 'tis late, and but important business craves such haste she had not gone from Plashy House tonight. But woe is me, the good Queen Anne is sick, and by my soul, my heart is sad to hear it. So good a lady and so virtuous, this realm for many ages could not boast of. Her charity hath stayed the common rage that would ere this have shaken Richard's chair or set all England on a burning fire. And for my God, I fear when she is gone, this woeful land will all to ruin run. How now, Cheney? What, is thy lady gone yet?
She is, my lord, with much unwillingness, and 'tis so dark I cannot blame her grace. The lights of heaven are shut in pitchy clouds, and flakes of fire run tilting through the sky, like dim ostents to some great tragedy.
God bless good Anna Bean. I fear her death will be the tragic scene the sky foreshows us. When kingdoms change, the very heavens are troubled. Pray God, King Richard's wild behavior force not the powers of heaven to frown upon us. My prayers are still for him. What thinkst thou, Cheney? May not plain Thomas live a time to see this state attain her former royalty? For God, I doubt it not. My heart is merry, and I am suddenly inspired for mirth. Ha! What sport shall we have tonight, Cheney?
I'm glad to see your grace addicted so, for I have news of sudden mirth to tell ye, which till I heard you speak, I durst not utter. We shall have a mask tonight, my lord.
Ha ha! A mask, sayest thou? What are they, Cheney?
It seems, my lord, some country gentlemen, to show their dear affections to your grace, proffer their sports this night to make you merry. Their drums have called for entrance twice already.
Oh, are they so near? I prithee, let them enter. Tell them we do embrace their loves most kindly. Give order through the house that all observe them. We must accept their loves, although the times are no way suited now for masks and revels. What ho, within there?
My lord.
Prepare a banquet, call for lights and music. They come in love and will accept it so. Some sport does well. We're all too full of woe.
They come, my lord.
They all are welcome, Cheney. Set me a chair. We will behold their sports in spite of care.
From the clear orb of our ethereal sphere, bright Cynthia comes to hunt and revel here. The groves of Caledon and Arden woods of untamed monsters, wild and savage herds. We and our knights have free and hither come to hunt these forests where we hear there lies a cruel and tusked boar whose terror flies through this large kingdom, and with fear and dread strikes her amassed greatness pale and dead. And having viewed from far these towers of stone, we heard the people, midst their joy and moan, extol to heaven a faithful prince and peer that keeps a court of love and pity here. Reverent and mild his looks. If such there be, this state directs. Great prince, that you are he. And ere our knights to this great hunting go, before your grace they would some pastime show in sprightly dancing. Thus they bade me say, and wait an answer to return or stay.
Nay, for heaven's sake, pity, let them come, I prithee. Pretty device of faith, stand by, make room there. Stir, good fellows, each man to his task. We shall have a clear night. The moon directs the mask. Ha! Country sports, say ye, for God 'tis courtly. A general welcome, courteous gentlemen, and when I see your faces, I'll give it each man more particular. If your entertainment fail your merit, I must ask pardon. My lady is from home, and most of my attendants waiting on her. But we'll do what we can to bid your welcome. For my God, it joys my heart to see amidst these days of woe and misery, ye find a time for harmless mirth and sport. But 'tis your loves, and we'll be thankful for it. Ah, Sirrah, ye come like knights to hunt the boar indeed, and heaven, he knows we had need of helping hands. So many wild boars root and spoil our lands that England almost is destroyed by them. I care not if King Richard heard me speak it. I wish his grace all good, high heaven can tell, but there's a fault in some, alack the day. His youth is led by flatterers much astray. But he's our king and God's great deputy, and if ye hunt to have me second, ye in any rash attempt against his state, afore my God, I'll ne'er consent unto it. I ever yet was just and true to him, and so will still remain. What's now amiss our sins have caused, and we must bid heaven's will. I speak my heart. I am plain Thomas still. Come, come. A hall and music there, your dance being done, a banquet stands prepared to bid you welcome. How now, Cheney? Is this banquet ready?
There is no time, I fear, for banqueting. I fear your person is betrayed, my lord. The house is round beset with armored soldiers.
Ha! Soldiers! For my God, the commons all are up then. They will rebel against the king, I fear me, and flock to me to back their bold attempts. Go, arm the household, Cheney. Hear me, gentlemen. For God, I do not like this whispering. If your intents be honest, show your faces.
Guard fast the doors and seize him presently. This is the cave that keeps the Tuscan boar that roots up England's vineyards uncontrolled. Beg and arrest him. If for help he cried, drown all his words with drums confusedly.
Am I betrayed?
You cannot escape, my lord. The toils are pitched, and all your household fast and hold ere this. Thomas of Woodstock, Duke of Gloucester, Earl of Cambridge, and of Buckingham, I here arrest thee in King Richard's name of treason to the crown, estate, and realm.
I'll put in bail an answer to the law. Speak, is King Richard here?
No, my lord, away with him.
Villains, touch me not. I am descended of the royal blood, King Richard's uncle, his grandsire's son, his princely father's brother. Becomes it princes to be led like slaves?
Put on a vizard, stop his cries.
Ah, who bids them so? I know that voice full well. For my God, false men, King Richard's here. Turn thee, thou headstrong youth, and speak again. By thy dead father's soul, I charge thee, hear me. So heaven may help me at my greatest need, as I have wished thy good and England's safety.
You're still deceived, my lord. The king's not here. All right.
Nay, from his presence to my death you'll lead me, and I am pleased I shall not live to see my country's ruin and his misery. Thou hear'st me well, proud king, and well mayst boast that thou betrayedst me here so suddenly. For had I known thy secret treachery, nor thou nor these thy flattering minions with all your strengths had wronged plain Woodstock thus. But use your wills. Your uncles Gaunt and York will give you thanks for this, and the poor commons, when they shall hear of these your unjust proceedings.
Stop mouth, I say, we'll hear no more.
Good heavens, forgive me. Pray ye forbear a while. I'll speak but one word more. Indeed, I will. Some man commend me to my virtuous wife. Tell her dreams have ta'en effect indeed. By wolves and lions now must Woodstock bleed.
Deliver him to Liverpool. The ship lies ready. Convey him o'er to Calais speedily. There use him as we gave directions. Sound up your drums. Our hunting sports are done. And when you're past the house, cast up by your habits and mount your horses with all swiftest haste. The boar is taken, and our fears are past.
Act 4, Scene 3.
Come, sirs, attend. My lord is coming forth. The high shrews of Kent and Northumberland, with 20 gentlemen, are all arrested for privy whisperers against the state, in which I know my lord will find some trick to seize their goods, and then there's work for us.
Hey, there'll be work for the hangmen first. Then we rifle the goods, and my lord seizes the lands. If these 700 whisperers that are taken come off lustily, he'll have the devil and all shortly.
See, they're coming.
Call for a marshal there. Commit the traitors.
Would you beseech your honor hear us speak?
Sir, will not hear ye. The proof's too plain against ye. Becomes it you, sir, being Shreve of Kent, to stay the blanks King Richard sent abroad, revile our messengers, refuse the charters, and spurn like traitors against the king's decrees?
My lord, I plead our ancient liberties, recorded and enrolled in the king's crown office, wherein we, the men of Kent, are clear discharge of fines, 15s, or other taxes forever given them by the emperor. Conqueror.
You're still deceived. Those charters were not sent to abrogate your ancient privilege, but for his highness' use were they devised to gather and collect among his subjects such sums of money as they might well spare, and he in their defense must hourly spend. Is not the subject's wealth at the king's will? What, is he lord of lives and not of lands? Is not his high displeasure present death? And dare ye stir his indignation so?
We are free-born, my lord, yet do confess our lives and goods are at the king's dispose. But how, my lord? Like to a gentle prince to take or borrow what we may best spare, and not like bond slaves force it from our hands.
Presumptuous traitors, that we will try on you. Will you set limits to the king's high pleasure? Away to prison, seize their goods and lands.
Oh, much good may it do you, my lord. The care is ta'en. As good die here, as here abroad be slain.
Well, God forgive you both and us, my lord. Your hard oppressions have undone the state and made all England poor and desolate.
Why suffer ye their speech? To prison, high. Let them perish, rot, consume, and die.
Oh.
Are there, Nimble?
I am here, my lord, and since your lordship is now employed to punish the traitors, I come to present myself unto you.
What, for a traitor?
No, my lord, but for a discoverer of the strangest traitor that was ever heard of. For by plain arithmetic of my capacity, I have found out the very words a traitor spoke that has whistled treason.
How is that whistled treason?
Most certain, my lord. I have a trick for it. If a carman do but whistle, I'll find treason in it, I warrant ye.
Thou art a rare statesman, Nimble. Thou'st a reaching head.
I'll put treason into any man's head, my lord. Let him answer it as he can. And then, my lord, as we have got a schoolmaster that teaches all the country to sting treason. And like a villain, he says, God bless your lordship.
Thou art a most strange discoverer. Where are these traitors?
All in prison, my lord. Master Ignorance, the Bailey of Dunstable, and I have taken great pains about them. Besides, there's a note of 700 whisperers, most of them sleepy knaves that we pulled out of Bedfordshire.
Let's see the note. 700 whispering traitors. Monstrous villains. We must look to these. Of all the sort, these are the most dangerous to stir rebellion against the king and us. What are they, Crosby? Are the rebels wealthy?
That shows, my lord, all landed men, rich farmers, graziers, and such fellows that having been but a little pinched with imprisonment, begin already to offer their lands for liberty.
We'll not be nice to their offers, Crosby. Their lands are better than their lives to us, and without their lands they shall not ransom lives. Go, sirs, to terrify the traitors more, ye shall have warrants straight to hang them all. Then, if they proffer lands and put in bail to make a just surrender speedily, let them have lives, and after liberty, but those that have nor lands nor goods to pay, let them be whipped, then hanged. Make haste, away.
Well, there, I see my whistler must be whipped. He has but 2 calves to live on and has lost them too. And for my schoolmaster, I'll have him march about the marketplace with 10 dozen rods a girdle the very day he goes a feasting, and every one of his scholars shall have a jerk at him. Come, sirs.
Away and leave us. Here comes Sir Edward Bagot.
Right happily met, my lord Tressilian.
You're well returned to court, Sir Edward, to this sad house of Sheen, made comfortless by the sharp sickness of the good Queen Anne.
King Richard's come and gone to visit her. Sad for her weak estate, he sits and weeps. Her speech is gone only at sight of him. She heaven to hands and closed her eyes again, and whether alive or dead is yet uncertain.
Here comes Sir William Bushy. What tidings, sir?
The king's a widower, sir. Fair Anna Beam hath breathed her last farewell to all the realm.
Peace with her soul. She was a virtuous lady. How takes King Richard this, her sudden death?
Fears like a madman, rends his princely hair, beats his sad breast, falls groveling on the earth, all careless for his state, wishing to die, and even in death to keep her company. But that which makes his soul more desperate amidst this heat of passion, weeping comes his aunt, the Duchess, Woodstock's hapless wife, with tender love and comfort, at sight of whom his griefs again redoubled, calling to mind the lady's woeful state, and yet all ignorant of her own mishap, he takes her in his arms, weeps on her breast, and would have there revealed her husband's fall amidst his passions, had not Scroop and Green by violence borne him to an inward room, where still he cries to get a messenger to send to Calais to reprieve his uncle.
I do not like those passions. No. No, I do not. Because he revealed the plot, we shall perish. Where's the Duchess?
With much ado, we got her leave the presence with an intent in haste to ride to Plashy.
She'll find sad comforts there. Would all were well. 1,000 dangers round enclose our state.
And we'll break through, my lord, in spite of fate. Come, come, be merry, good Tressilian. Here comes King Richard. I'll go comfort him.
My dearest lord, forsake these sad laments. No sorrows can suffice to make her live.
Then let sad sorrow kill King Richard too. For all earthly joys with her must die, and I'm killed with cares eternally for Anna Beam. Is dead, forever gone. She was too virtuous to remain with me, and heaven hath given her higher dignity. Oh God, I fear even here begins our woe. Her death's but chorus to some tragic scene that shortly will confound our state and realm. Such sad events, black mischief will attend, and bloody acts I fear must crown the end.
Presage not so, sweet prince. Your state is strong. Your youthful hopes with expectations crowned. Let not one loss so many comforts drown.
Despair and madness seize me. Oh, my dear friends, what loss can be compared to such a queen? Down with this house of Sheen. Go, ruin all, pull down her buildings, let her turrets fall, forever lay it waste and desolate, that English king may never here keep court. But to all ages leave a sad report, when men shall see these ruined walls of Sheen, and sighing say, here died King Richard's queen. For which we'll have it wasted, line and stone, to keep a monument of Richard's moan, of torturing grief.
Oh, dear my liege, all tears for her are vain oblations. Her quiet soul rests in celestial peace. With joy of that, let all your sorrows cease.
Send post to Calais and bid Lapoule forbear on pain of life to act our sad decree. For heaven's love, go! Prevent the tragedy. We have too much provoked the powers divine, and here repent thy wrongs, good Uncle Woodstock. The thought whereof confounds my memory. If men might die when they would point the time is now. King Richard would be gone. For as a fearful thunderclap doth strike the soundest body of the tallest oak, yet harmless, leaves the outward bark untouched, so is King Richard struck. Come, come, let's go. My wounds are inward. Inward burn my woe.
Act 5, Scene 1, home stretch.
Come, sirs, be resolute. The time serves well to act the business you have ta'en in hand. The Duke has gone to rest. The room is voided. No ear can hear his cries. Be fearless bold and win King Richard's love with heaps of gold. Are all your instruments for death made ready?
All fit to the purpose, my lord. Here's first a towel, which we do intend to strangle him, but if he strive and this should chance to fail, I'll maul his old mazzard with this hammer, knock him down like an ox, and after cuts throats. How like ye this?
No, wound him not. It must be done so fair and cunningly as if he died a common natural death, for so we must give out to all that ask.
There is no way then but to smother him.
I like that best. Yet one thing let me tell ye. Think not your work contrived so easily as if you were to match some common man. Believe me, sirs, his countenance is such, so full of dread and lordly majesty, with such mild and gentle behavior, as will, except you be resolved at full, strike you with fear, even with his princely looks.
Not any looked as grim as Hercules, as stern and terrible as the devil himself.
'Tis well resolved. Retire yourselves a while. Stay in the next withdrawing chamber there, and when I spy the best advantage for ye, occasion serves, I'll call you forth.
Do but beckon with your finger, my lord, and like vultures we come flying in season presently.
Do so. And yet now, by all my fairest hopes, I swear, the boldness of these villains to murder makes me abhor them, and the deed forever. Horror of conscience with the king's command fights a fell combat in my fearful breast. The king commands his uncle here must die, and my sad conscience bids the contrary, and tells me that his innocent blood thus spilt, heaven will revenge. Murder's a heinous guilt, a 7 times crying sin. Accursed man, the further that I wade into this foul act, my troubled senses are the more distract, confounded and tormented past my reason. But there's no lingering. Either he must die, or great King Richard vows my tragedy. Then 'twixt 2 evils, 'tis good to choose the least. Let danger fright faint fools. I'll save mine own, and let him fall to black destruction. He sleeps upon his bed. Time serves fitly. I'll call the murderers in. Sound music there to rock his senses in eternal slumbers. Sleep, Woodstock, sleep. Thou never more shalt wake. This town of Calais shall forever tell, within her castle walls, plain Thomas fell.
Night horror, and eternal shrieks of death intended to be done this dismal night hath shook fair England's great cathedral, and from my tomb, elate at Canterbury, the ghost of Edward the Black Prince is come to stay King Richard's rage, my wanton son. Thomas of Woodstock, wake, thy brother calls thee. Thou, royal issue of King Edward's loins, thou art beset with murder. Rise and fly. If there thou stay, death comes and thou must die. Still dost thou sleep? Oh, I am not but air. Had I the vigor of my former strength, when thou beheldst me fight at Crecy Field, where hand to hand I took King John of France and his bold sons, my captive prisoners, I'd shake these stiff supporters of thy bed and drag thee from this dull security. Oh, yet for pity wake, prevent thy doom. Thy blood upon my son will surely come, for which, dear brother, Woodstock, haste and fly. Prevent his ruin and thy tragedy.
Oh!
Sleep thou so soundly in pale death so nigh. Thomas of Woodstock, wake, my son, and fly. Thy wrongs have roused thy royal father's ghost, and from his quiet grave King Edward's come to guard thy innocent life. My princely son, behold me here. Sometimes fair England's lord, 7 warlike sons I left, yet being gone, no one succeeded my kingly throne. Richard of Bordeaux, my accursed grandchild, cut off your titles to the kingly state, and now your lives and all would ruinate. Murders his grandsire's son, his father's brothers, becomes a landlord of my kingly titles, rents out my crown's revenues, racks my subjects that spent their bloods with me in conquering France, beheld me ride in state through London streets, and at my stirrup lowly footing by 4 captive kings to grace my victory. Yet that, not this, his riotous youth can stay, till death hath ta'en his uncles all away. Thou 5th of Edward's sons, get up and fly. Haste thee to England, close and speedily. Thy brothers York and Gaunt are up in arms. Go join with them. Prevent thy further harms. The murderers are at hand. Awake, my son. This hour foretells thy sad destruction.
Oh, good angels, guide me. Stay, thou blessed spirit. Thou royal shadow of my kingly father, return again. I know thy reverend looks. With thy right dear sight, once more recomfort me. Put by the fears my trembling heart foretells, and here is made apparent to my sight by dreams and visions of this dreadful night. Upon my knees I beg it. Protect me, heaven. The doors are all made fast. 'Twas all my fancy. All's whist and still, and nothing here appears but the vast circuit of this empty room. Oh, thou blessed hand of mercy, guide my senses. For my God, methought as here I slept, I did behold in lively form and substance my father Edward and my warlike brother, both gliding by my bed, and cried to me to leave this place, to save my life and fly. Lighten my fears, dear Lord. I here remain a poor old man, thrust from my native country, kept in prison in a foreign kingdom. If I must die, bear record, righteous heaven, how I have nightly waked for England's good, and yet to right her wrongs would spend my blood. Send they sad doom, King Richard, take my life. I wish my death might ease my country's grief.
We are prevented back. Retire again. He's risen from his bed. What fate preserves him?
Thou canst not.
My lord, how fares you?
Thou canst not kill me, villain. God's holy angels guard a just man's life, and with his radiant beams as bright as fire will guard and keep his righteous innocence. I am a prince. Thou darest not murder me.
Your grace mistakes, my lord.
What art thou? Speak.
La Poule, my lord, the city's governor.
La Poule, thou art King Richard's flatterer. O you just gods, record their treachery, judge their foul wrongs, that under show of friendship betrayed my simple kind. Intendaments my heart gave. It was no time for revels when you, like maskers, came disguised to Plashy, joined the wanton king to trap my life, for that I knows the end his malice aims at. This castle and my secret sending hither imports no less. Therefore I charge ye, tell me, even by the virtue of nobility, and partly too on that allegiance thou owest the offspring of King Edward's house, if aught thou knowest to prejudice my life, thou presently reveal and make it known.
Nay, good my lord, forbear that fond suspicion.
I tell thee, Poole, there is no less intended. Why am I sent thus from my native country, but here at Calais to be murdered? And that, La Poule, confounds my patience. This town of Calais, where I spent my blood to make it captive to the English king, before whose walls great Edward lay encamped with his 7 sons, almost for 14 months, where the Black Prince, my brother, and my wife, the peers of England and our royal father, fearless of wounds, ne'er left till it was won, and was to make a prison for his son? Oh, righteous heavens, why do you suffer it?
Disquiet not your thoughts, my gracious lord. There is no hurt intended. Credit me. Although a while your freedom may be abridged, I know the king. If you would but submit and write your letters to his majesty, your reconcilement might be easily wrought.
For what should I submit or ask his mercy? Had I offended, with all low submission, I'd lay my neck under the block before him and willingly endure the stroke of death. But if not so, why should my fond entreaties make my true loyalty appear like treason? No, La Poule. Let guilty men beg pardons. My mind is clear, and I must tell ye, sir, princes have hearts like pointed diamonds that will in sunder burst before they bend. And such lives here, though death King Richard sends. Yet fetch me pen and ink. I'll write to him, not to entreat, but to admonish him that he forsake his foolish ways in time and learn to govern like a virtuous prince. Call home his wise and reverend counselors, thrust from his court those cursed flatterers that hourly work the realm's confusion. This counsel, if he follow, may in time pull down those mischiefs that so fast do climb.
Here's pen and paper, my lord. Wilt please ye write?
Anon I will. Shut to the doors and leave me. Good night, La Poule. And pardon me, I prithee, that my sad fear made question of thy faith. My state is fearful, and my mind was troubled even at thy entrance with most fearful visions, which made my passions more extreme and hasty. Out of my better judgments I repent it, and will reward thy love. Once more, good night.
Good rest unto your grace. I mean in death. This dismal night, thou breathest thy latest breath. He sits to write, I'll call the murderers in, to steal behind and closely strangle him.
So help me heaven. I know not what to write, what style to use, nor how I should begin. My method is too plain to greet a king. I'll nothing say to excuse or clear myself, for I have nothing done that needs excuse, but tell him plain, though here I spend my blood, I wish his safety and all England's good.
Creep close to his back, ye rogue. Be ready with the towel when I have knocked him down to strangle him.
Do it quickly while his back is towards ye, ye damned villain. If thou lettest him speak but for words, we shall not kill him.
I'll watch him for that. Down on your knees and creep, you rascal.
Have mercy, God. My sight of a sudden fails me. I cannot see my paper. Trembling fingers will not hold my pen. A thick congealed mist o'erspreads this chamber. I'll rise and view the room.
No, too fast for failing.
What villain hath done a deed so bad to drench his black soul in a prince's blood?
Do you prate, sir? Take that and that. Smooch, put the towel about his throat and strangle him quickly, you slave, or by the heart of hell I'll fell thee too.
It is done, you damn slave. Pull, you dog, and pull thy soul to hell in doing it. And thou hast killed the truest subject that ever breathed in England.
Pull, rogue, pull. For the gold we shall have for doing it. And then let him and thee go to the devil together. Bring in the feather bed and roll him up in that till he be smothered and stifled and his life and soul pressed out together. Quickly, you hellhound.
Quickly, yes, yeah, you cannibal. Silence it, kicks and sprawls. A lion's breast, you villain.
Let him sprawl and hang. Sure enough for speaking. Pull off the bed now. Smooth down his hair and his beard. Close his eyes and set his neck right. Why so? I'll find in Clenley who can say that this man was murdered now.
What? Is he dead?
There's a doornail, my lord. What will you do with his body?
Take it up gently. Lay him in his bed. Then shut the door as if he there had died.
It cannot be perceived otherwise, my lord. Never was murder done with such rare skill. At our return, we shall expect reward, my lord.
It's ready, Tove. Bear in the body, then return and take it. Within there, ho!
My lord.
Draw all. Be ready with your weapons, soldiers. Guard the room. There's 2 false traitors entered the Duke's chamber, plotting to bear him thence. Betray the castle, deliver up the town and all our lives to the French forces that are hard at hand, to second their attempts. Therefore stand close, and as they enter, seize them presently. Our will's your warrant. Use no further words, but hew them straight to pieces with your swords.
I warrant you, my lord, and their skins were scaled with brass. We have swords, we'll pierce them. Come, sirs, be ready.
Come, ye mishing rascal. The deed's done and all things performed rarely. We'll take our reward, steal close out of the town, buy us fresh geldings, spur cut and ride till we are past all danger, I warrant thee.
Give their reward there. Quick, I say.
Down with the traitors. Kill the villains.
Hell and the devil. Hold your rascal.
Down, you rascals.
Drag hence their bodies. Hurl them in the sea. The black reward of death's the traitors pay. So this was well performed. Now who but we can make report of Woodstock's tragedy? Only he died a natural death at Calais. So must we give it out, or else King Richard, through Europe's kingdoms, will be hardly censured. His headstrong uncles, York and Lancaster, are up, we hear, in open arms against him. The gentlemen and commons in the realm, missing the good old Duke, their plain protector, break their allegiance to their sovereign lord, and all revolt upon the baron's side. To help which harm I'll o'er to England straight, and with old troops of the soldiers ta'en from Calais, I'll back Richard's power. For should he fail, and his great uncles get the victory, his friends are sure to die. But if he win, they fall, and we shall rise while Richard's king.
Act 5, Scene 2.
These proclamations we have sent abroad, wherein we have accused the dukes of treason, will dent their pride and make the people leave them. I hope no less, at least. Or art thou nimble?
Armor, I cannot stir, my lord.
Whose drums are those that beat even now?
King Richard's drums, my lord. The young lords are pressing soldiers.
Oh, and do they take their press with willingness?
As willing as a punk that's pressed on a feather bed, they take their pressing a piece with great patience. Marry, the lords no sooner turn their backs, but they run away like sheep, sir.
They shall be hanged like dogs for it. What dare the slaves refuse their sovereign?
They say the proclamation's false, my lord, and they'll not fight against the king's friends.
So I feared as much, since 'tis come to this, I must provide betime and seek for safety. For now the king and our audacious peers are grown to such height of burning rage as nothing now can quench their kindled ire but open trial by the sword and lance. And then I fear King Richard's part will fail. Nimble, our soldiers run, thou sayest?
Aye, by my troth, my lord. And I think 'tis our best course to run after them. For if they run now, what will they do when the battle begins? If we tarry here and the king's uncles catch us, we are sure to be hanged, my lord. Have you no brick of law to defend us, no demure or writ of error to remove us?
Nimble, we must be wise.
Then let's not stay to have more wit beaten into our heads. I like that not, my lord.
I am a man of peace and not of war.
And yet they say you have made more wrangling in the land than all the wars have done these 7 years.
This battle will revenge their basic claims. But hearest thou, Nimble? I'll not be there today. One man amongst so many is no maim. Therefore, I'll keep aloof till all be done. If good, I stay. If bad, away I run. Nimble, it shall be so. I'll neither fight nor die, but this resolved to disguise myself and fly.
Is the wisest course, my lord. And I'll go put off mine armor that I may run lustily too.
Act 5, Scene 3.
Go to our tents, dear sister. Cease your sorrows. We will revenge our noble brother's wrongs and force that wanton tyrant to reveal the death of his dear uncle, harmless Woodstock, so traitorously betrayed.
Alack, good man, it was an easy task to work on him. His plainness was too open to their view. He feared no wrong because his heart was true. Good sister, cease your weep. There's none here but are as full of woe and touch as near. Conduct and guard her, Jenny, to the tent. Expect to hear severest punishment on all their heads that have procured his harms, struck from the terror of our threatening arms.
May all the powers of heaven assist your hands, and may their sins sit heavy on their souls, that they in death this day may perish all that traitorously conspired. Good Woodstock's fall.
If he be dead, by good King Edward's soul, will call King Richard to a strict account for that and for his realm's misgovernment. You peers of England, raised in righteous arms, here to re-edify our country's ruin, join all your hearts and hands, never to cease till with our swords we work fair England's peace.
Most princely Lancaster, our lands, our lives, are to these just proceedings ever vowed.
Flattering minions that o'erturn the state, this day in death shall meet their endless fate.
Never such vipers were endured so long, to gripe and eat the hearts of all the kingdom.
This day shall here determinate all wrongs. The meanest man taxed by their foul oppression shall be permitted freely to accuse, and right they shall have to regain their one, or all shall sink in dark confusion.
Hannah, what drums are these?
To arms, my lords. The minions of the king are swiftly marching on to give ye battle.
They march to death then, Cheney. Dare the traitors presume to brave the field with English princes?
Where is King Richard? He was resolved but lately to take some hold of strength and so secure him.
Knowing their states were all so desperate, it seems they are persuaded otherwise. But now he comes with full resolve to fight. La Poule this morning has arrived at court with the callous soldiers and some French supplies to back this now intended enterprise.
Those new supplies have spurned their forward hopes and thrust their resolutions boldly on to meet with death and sad destruction.
Their drums are near. Just heaven direct this deed, and as our cause deserves our fortunes, speed.
Although we could have easily surprised, dispersed, and overthrown your rebel troops that draw your swords against our sacred person, the highest God's anointed deputy, breaking your holy oaths to heaven and us. Yet of our mild and princely clemency we have forborne, that by this parliament we might be made partaker of the cause that moved ye rise in this rebellious sort.
Hast thou, King Richard, made us infamous by proclamations false and impudent? Hast thou condemned us in our absence too as most notorious traitors to the crown, betrayed our brother Woodstock's harmless life, and sought base means to put us all to death? And dost thou now plead dotish ignorance why we are landed thus in our defense?
Methinks your treasons to his majesty, raising his subjects against his royal life, should make you beg for mercy at his feet.
You have forgotten, Uncle Lancaster, how you in prison murdered cruelly a friar Carmelite because he was to bring in evidence against your grace of most ungracious deeds and practices.
And you, my lord, remember not so well that by that Carmelite at London once, when at supper you would have poisoned us.
For shame, King Richard. Leave this company that like dark clouds obscure the sparkling stars of thy great birth and true nobility.
Yield to your uncles. Who but they should have the guidance of your sacred state and council?
Yield first your heads, so he shall be sure to keep his person and his state secure.
And by my crown, if still you thus persist, your heads and hearts as long shall answer it.
Not till ye send for more supplies from France, for England will not yield ye strength to do it.
Thou wellst may doubt their loves that lost their hearts, ungracious prince. Cannot thy native country find men to back this desperate enterprise?
His native country? Why, that is France, my lord. At Bordeaux was he born, which place allures and ties his deep affection still to France. Richard is English blood, not English born. Thy mother traveled in unhappy hours when she at Bordeaux left her heavy load. Soil is fat for wines, not fit for men, and England now laments that heavy time. Her royalties are lost, her state made base, and thou no king, but landlord, now become to this great state that terrored Christendom.
I cannot brook these braves. Let drums sound death and strike at once to stop this traitor's breath.
Stay, my dear lord, and once more hear my princes. The king was minded ere this brawl began to come to terms of composition.
Let him revoke the proclamations, clear us of all supposed crimes of treason, reveal where our good brother Gloucester keeps, and grant that these pernicious flatterers may by the law be tried to quit themselves of all such heinous crimes alleged against them, and we'll lay down our weapons at thy feet.
Presumptuous traitors!
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 And we double it, rebellious traitors! Traitors to heaven and to us. Draw all your swords and fling defiance to those traitorous lords.
The drums thunder and begin the fight!
Let heaven protect us and defend the right.
Act 5, Scene 4.
Stand, traitor, for thou canst not scape my sword.
What villain fronts me with the name of a traitor? Wast thou false, Caney? Now by King Richard's love, I'll tilt thy soul out from thy base reproach. I were thy master and the late protector, with both his treacherous brothers, Gaunt and York, were all opposed with thee to try these arms. I seal it all in your hearts.
This shall suffice to free the kingdom from their villainies.
Thou hunts a noble game, right warlike Cheney. Cut but off his visor off, thou healest the kingdom. Yield thee, false traitor, most detested man that sets King Richard against his reverend uncles, to shed the royals' blood and make the realm weep for their timeless desolation. Cast down thy weapons, for by this sword I'll bear thee from this place, alive or dead.
Come, both then! I'll stand firm and dare your worst. He that flies from it, be his soul accursed.
So may the foes of England fall in blood, most dissolute traitor. Up with his body, Cheney, and hale it to the tent of Lancaster.
Stand firm, my lord. Here's rescue.
Courage, then. We'll bear his body hence in spite of them.
Oh, princely youth, King Richard's dearest friend, what heavy star this day had dominance to cut off all thy flowering youthful hopes? Prosper, proud rebels, as you dealt by him hard-hearted uncles, unrelenting churls that here have murdered all my earthly joys. Oh, my dear Green, wert thou alive to see how I'll revenge thy timeless tragedy, and on all their heads that did but lift a hand to hurt this body that I held so dear. Even by this kiss, and by my crown, I swear.
Away, my lord, away, 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 yes. Sound not to wail his death, the yield is lost. Our soldiers shrunk and fly, the pool is taken prisoner by the lords. Oh, yes, to the tower. There is no help in swords.
Still to continue war were childishness. There are a mountain ours, a molehill is.
Let's fly to London and make strong the tower. Loud proclamations post throughout the camp with promise of reward to all that take us. Get safety for our lives, my princely lord. If here we stay, we shall all be betrayed.
Oh, my dear friends, the fearful wrath of heaven sits heavy on our heads for Woodstock's death. Blood cries for blood, and that almighty hand permits not murder unrevenged to stand. Come, come, we yet may hide ourselves from worldly strength, but heaven will find us out and strike at length.
Each lend a hand to bear this load of woe, that erst King Richard loud intended so.
Act 5, Scene 5.
Where art thou, Nimble?
Light as a feather, my lord. I pulled off my shoe that I might run lustily. The battle's lost, and the prisoners. What shall we do, my lord? Yonder's a ditch. We might run along that and ne'er be seen, I warrant.
I did suspect no less. And so 'tis fallen, the day is lost, and dashed are all our hopes. King Richard's taken prisoner by the peers. Oh, that I were upon some steepy rock where I might tumble headlong to the sea before those cruel lords do seize on me.
Oh, that I were transformed into a mouse, that I might creep into any hole in the house and cared not.
Come, Nimble. 'Tis no time to use delay. I'll keep me in this poor disguise a while, and so unknown prolong my weary life, in hope King Richard shall conclude my peace. Hark, the trumpets call the soldiers back again. Retreat is sounded. Now the times serve fit, and we may steal from hence. Away, good Nimble.
Stay, my lord, slid and ye go that way, farewell. And you'll be ruled by me. I have a thought of a trick that ye shall escape them most bravely.
Bethink thyself, good Nimble. Quickly, man.
I'll meditate, my lord, and then I'm for ye. Now, Nimble, show thyself a man of valor. Think of thy fortune. 'Tis a hanging matter if thou conceal him. Besides, it's 1,000 marks for him that takes him with the Duke's favors and free pardon. And besides, he's a coward, and he would ne'er run from the battle else. Saint Anthony, assist me. I'll set upon him presently. My lord, I have thought upon this trick. I must take ye prisoner.
How, prisoner?
Well, there's one way to escape else. Then I must carry yet to the king's uncles who presently condemn ye for a traitor, send ye away to hanging, and then God bless my lord Tressilian.
Wilt thou betray thy master, villain?
Aye, if my master be a villain. You think 'tis nothing for a man to be hanged for his master? You hear not the proclamation?
What proclamation?
Oh, sir, the country's full of them. That whoever sees you does not presently take ye and bring ye to the Lord shall be hanged for his labor. Therefore, no more words, lest I raise the whole camp upon ye. Ye see one of your own swords of justice drawn over thee. Therefore, go quietly, lest I cut off your head and save the hangman their labor.
Oh, villain.
No more words. Away, sir.
Act 5, Scene 6.
Us princely Edward's sons in tender care of wanton Richard and their father's realm have toiled to purge fair England's pleasant field of all those rancorous weeds that choked the grounds and left her pleasant meads like barren hills. Who can tell us which way back it fled?
Some say to Bristol to make strong the castle.
See that the ports be laid. He'll fly the land, for England hath no hold can keep him from us. Had we Tressilian hanged, then all were sure.
Where slept our scouts that he escaped the field?
He fled, they say, before the fight began.
Our proclamation soon shall find him forth, the root and ground of all these vile abuses. How now? What guard is that? What traitor's there?
Traitor now is ta'en. I here present the villain, and if he needs, will know his name. God bless my lord Tressilian.
Tressilian, my lord, attached and apprehended by this man.
Yes, and it please ye, my lord, 'twas I took him. I was once a trampler in the law after him, and I thank him. He taught me this trick to save myself from hanging.
Thou art a good lawyer and hast removed the cause from thyself fairly.
I have removed it with a habeas corpus, and then I took him with a serasis and bound him in this bond to answer it. Nay, I have studied for my learning. I can tell ye, my lord, there is not a stone between Westminster Hall and Temple Bar, but I have told them every morning.
What moved thee, being his man, to apprehend him?
Partly for the causes. First, the fear of the proclamation, for I have plodded in Plowden and can find no law to say a servant must serve faithful still a master's treachery. And so, to block the law, that would be to block myself beneath the axe, slit my throat as surely as a razor out of Occam. But to block my master's blot is sure to save myself. Second, for the pay of the proclamation, for such marks as has marked would go far to make a servant a master, and so free myself twice over, nay, 3 times over, once from the lash of treachery, once from the strap of servitude, and from the whip of justice. And third, as I am a right and honest Englishman, loyal to your ducal crowns, I know no treason in myself, nay, not so much as a whistle of it. And so I hope you'll spare my crown and then pay me the golden crown.
Sir, you have spoken with a true rare wit.
Indeed, I have heard no man's wit like this in all my days. Come, sir, hold your prisoner close, and your just rewards shall be paid by us. But before you part, let me speak unto your captive prisoner. Now, traitorous Tressilian, what excuse can you make for the tricks you've played? We know you have spared late slanders against us, turned the king's ear with false law and meek praise, and have roused all the land with taxations foul and vile. How answer you these charges?
I shall make no answer to you, my lord, for I have done no ill in doing my duty.
Sport, you hold duty in a light regard, for in your broken duty you have broken your oaths to God, to king, to law, to all. For it your lying lawyer's tongue will be forever stilled. Bear hence this Lord Chief Justice, and hang his tricks from the scaffold of true law.
My lord, your brother York, in arms resplendent, comes bearing the captive king.
Call him no king. He hath named himself an emperor divine, but lived a landlord. Let him make answer in a landlord's court. We'll see him tethered to those disloyal tenants who have bankrupted his name, his kingdom, and his title all.
Brother Lancaster, I bring thee fair news that field and day are ours in perfect victory, and bring as prisoner our nephew King in bond, but not yet broken in his pride.
The pride of a lion itself would break before such griefs have been suffered in his name by the commons and his lord.
How shall such griefs be answered, my dear lord?
As such, to the profit and grace of this fair realm, we shall pluck from him and his court such traitors as have in continuity harried by remains his good name and rightful wits. In docket, therefore, place Sir William Bagot, Sir Henry Green, and false Sir Stephen Scroop, add to their names that of Tressilian, that false justice, and Bushy, coward fled. These, and all other lords of his poor council, we have determined should be drawn and hanged, their lives made forfeit for the rents they owe.
Here have I seen wonders truly wrought. Dukes raised up like kings, kings subjected before dukes. Those you have condemned without word of their defense are those most loyal, true, and just to king and crown. They have done naught but what has been commanded, and should they then be sentenced unto death? I see clear now the true bent of your thoughts, and it goes sore against my mind to see that they have been bent you against your honors true.
Are you yet haughty in your desolation? Know that we stand here to find another king than the false posture who has ruled instead. And if such cannot be found in a claim that would and ought to obey the faithful counsel of his lords, then surely there is no king upon this plain to rule his subjects loyal.
Think you, sir, I am a merchant or a fool to sell my land to ruin and not for all? All that has been done in my true name. My royal throne have I ne'er abdicated, not even to those my friends most loyal. Do you think the kingdom's locks I'll ever turn for those most false and forsworn to my word?
Let not this heat of passion make a forge or crucible to turn false true or true to false. I beg of you, my lord, to look about ye for the preservation of the realm, and see, and in the seeing marvel to behold. Look at this godly army which has marched in such strength to rally round your side, and yet 'tis not 1/10th part of all those willing subjects that have risen to destroy those false traitors that with wicked counsel subverted the law unto base enterprises, turned the commons into a thieving purse, and debased the right royal blood of Edward, the grandsire from whom your own stock has sprung. In wronging us, they have made you wrong yourself.
Do you think to fear me with your bold presumption? I stand safe, encircled by that divinity which hedges about the souls of all true kings. But for those who have suffered in my stead, who would be piked for standing in my picket shoes, I can feel true dread by proximation. Let but the too swift hand of your quick justice wait until the soon coming parliament, that true defenses and patience may be heard, and I shall enrich you for these your pains. We issue good pardons to all rebelled, return those blank charters gathered by our debtors, and give forth further honors and rewards, like to a Roman Caesar gifting laurels to a faithful general upon the Rubicon. Further, we will go, proud Lancaster, by granting you such holy palatine that you will be made like unto a king within our kingdom. And then for your heir and son, the noble Bolingbroke, now Earl of Derby, we make him anew the Duke of Hereford, and with him spruce so many ducati among these lesser nobles loyal to you, as shall be thought to gloss and reassure those prides which have been injured by things past.
Nay, Richard, we will not be bought and sold like tenants farming from your proffered palm. We hold within our grip fresh treasons which shall make your former crimes pale to dim memories. Here is an order writ by your own hand, taken from messenger galloped toward France, to plead a traitorous license of safe conduct from a French king held this country's enemy. And for the payment of your pass, you pledge into their taking the town of Calais and all our proud fortresses of France. Yet worse, you would homage to a foreign king for fair Aquitaine, which was your right of birth. You would engorge upon the horns of your white hart, your country, your lords, your subjects, and your crown, along with all those crowns which came before your own to win those rights. You would depose, you would unseat yourself, and so cut off all those unborn kings who have yet to claim their rights. What awful treasons writ by one who would turn kings of France into mere liegemans of the Frank.
I have heard slanders enough to fill my cup for life. Be wary, uncles. Forget not that you stand before a king. Subjected I may be, but never will I live to be a subject. I look upon you, and I see your angers, and in your griefs and losses I have borne. I see and sympathize their rightful cause, but your rages so boil forth that all England shall they burn before them without limit. So I rise high before you, resplendent in that awful power given me by God, to stand between you and your proposed doom of monarchy's true grace and holy seat. You speak of treason, and yet you dare to seek the debasing of a true-born king. As surely as a violation of the holy right of sanctuary, this would double divine treason wrought. The sin of it would England ever bear from son to son, from heir to bloody heir, until some awful sacrifice should purge it from our stained soil.
You invoke the power of a king, but a king you are no more. In this convocation of battle, we strip you of crown and right alike, so that it might unto some other worthy heir of conquering Edward be depended.
Hold, noble Arundel. Let not the crown be hallowed of a right king's brow. Brother like Lancaster, the king points to thee and names thee rage's wrathful harbinger. Would you prove him true? Step back from forth the brink. Let us not wrong our brother Woodstock's memory by turning all against those holy rites. He held all in holy heart and no holy mind. Let's make of him a martyr, true and dear, and from his blood work right to resolve England's frame. He wished a king who wished for country's good, and here upon this plain have we found such a king. In Richard's words and acts, His laws and gifts sundered from those tongues that guided ill. He is our king again. And though he learns that not all dice are loaded in his favor, yet still the grace of God lies upon his brow, wreathing it with blessing, no less than crown.
Your words speak wisdom, true and just, I think. Let none doubt this strife was fought for justice, not for gain. Richard's now is crown and realm, and Richard alone must answer for its good.
For this we thank ye kindly, gentle uncles. And to further quell your doubts, I offer this. Lest any doubt Edward's blood runs through my vein, I now pledge to put my body into pain, to deliver town and stronghold on campaign. To Ireland shall we muster county's force, so that in victory we can right fair England's course.
It is well said and well bethought. Come now, we shall in triumph march through London's streets.
Go forth and make such preparations now as shall make celebration most fit and meet. Richard survives, but all alone doth Richard live. My tears for Anna Beam I quenched in flame, and those for fairest Green are lost in shame. But no tears come at all for this fresh loss of Bagot, Bushy, and my dear friend Scroop. Is it loss at all if yet they live? Yea, and a loss more dearly felt at coldest length. In the arms of friends, comfort should we find, not keep at bay those closest to our kind. Yet friends are worthy to be voided at the court. For what is but poison to be courted Richard's friend? Nevermore shall that close comradeship we know which makes it worthy to bear the burden life. For all those mortal props of royalty have bent to bursting beneath my rampant heart. I will unto the gilded halls of Westminster, and richly there commission fresh delights to match the bitter moods which graven thoughts. There from a mirror's image I will I carve a tomb and effigy unto myself, and leave the word, eternal monument, the testament of poor King Richard's strife. Now am I stripped of cares, and care strips me. And in the barren remnant left behind, my heart's become as hollow as my mind.
End of play. Oh, yay. Thank you, everybody.
Everybody. Oh, what a long time. My goodness.
It's shorter than Hamlet.
Hell yeah. Everything is shorter than
Just
that.
barely.
What's the real story? The Richard II is more the closer to the true historical facts, though, because they were beheaded. He didn't die in a battle. Green didn't die. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, everybody.
There's so much, like there's a molehill here, and there's so many.
Yeah.
What's it? Pre-echoes, harbinger echoes. You know.
Premonitions. Yeah.
And I love the end of it, especially where Richard basically says, "Hey, let's go beat up on the Irish for a while."
Which he does in Richard II. He just is coming back from there. So
That's English for you. When in doubt, go beat up the Irish.
Lordy me.
Good job, everybody.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, it's good.
Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
We see some of you. Can I, before you go, Drew, I just had a really quick question, pronunciation question, or maybe some of the Brits. Oh, did everybody go? Because it's usually Bolingbroke, but in this version, it's Bowling something else. So how